No, give
That one's
it the
difficult.
good one. Give it the good one.
No, it's all good.
There.
Clean now.
Yeah, that's super black.
No
Okay.
problem with it.
Oh, today is going to be a good day. I can already tell. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this section of the Keep. Yay!
It's blood, my friend.
Oh, this is gonna be crazy shenanigans. I am so looking forward to this. So thank you for joining us. We hope that as you come along on our adventures today with us, that this is a spot of sunshine in your day or a distraction from the crazy world around you, and that you really just get to have fun with us. Because this is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope y'all are too. Yay! Yay! We have everybody with us today. I don't think we have any announcements in particular.
We do be on the lookout. We do have some new behind-the-scenes unboxing videos coming up soon.
Soonish.
Soonish.
When we do this.
Sometime in the next 14 days.
Soonish.
Yeah.
Soonish.
Yeah.
So we'll do some unboxing. We'll have some cool minis to show. That will be very exciting.
Because some of us have a impulse buying problem.
No.
They do.
I don't resemble that at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Look, terrain is fun. More of it's coming later.
Over to my house.
It'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Loud
So
helicopter.
yeah, let's go ahead and
Do it.
jump into session today, shall we? Woo! Okay, so
Because Jordan failed on his conch shell.
Jordan's ability to blow is so bad.
I always fail when I actually try it.
Hey.
That was a
Ooh, that was a good one. Hey,
Ew.
there's our bard.
My
Okay,
roommate's
so when last we left our heroes, the 11th Hour had been recovering and shopping and preparing in Cedar Grove to have Rissa teleport them to the lair of the Underlord, who Valskry confirmed to be a beholder of some power. After their preparations were complete, Rissa took Halbert's description of the destination and activated the spell, but it went awry. After a few mishaps, the spell launched them to an off-target destination, smack dab in the middle of a desert. Kazator sent Jojo scouting and, through his familiar, spotted a large shape, moving like a wave almost under the sand and earth, heading towards a structure of some kind in the far distance. After some debate, the group began moving towards this structure, due in large part to Doran and Siliux's hope that this may be the tomb of Zelisar, a heroic friend of the Arbiter during the Shattering, a cataclysmic event that occurred here on Siliux's homeworld, Denegon, about 600 years ago. So after a long day of travel, your group arrives at the structure. It is getting on towards the evening. You have briefly gotten a chance to look at some of the murals and artwork here on the walls of this temple. You see this large statue of a brass dragonborn figure with the shield that Siliux knows so well as an Arbiter, and a sword extended out, very heroic. The temple is in a sort of U-shaped area around this statue itself, and there is a tunnel, it looks like, descending to some sort of underground area. So you have arrived, you have briefly scouted the outside of the temple itself. What are y'all going to do?
I actually would like to, right at the start, I want to run a divine sense, because it'll tell me if there's any within 60 feet, not behind total cover, so I don't think that's going to ping anything. But it will tell me if the ground has been consecrated by the Hallow spell, and I want to know if that's happened.
That's the first time I think you've used this spell for that reason.
Yeah, well,
I think
It's always the other. It's always for the other, and you're like,
Hallow spell.
I know. You're also like, oh, and it's also something about a Hallow spell.
This seems useful at this point.
Yeah.
This current structure.
As a matter of fact, you cast the spell, you mark this off, and you do get a sense that this is sacred ground. that this temple has been consecrated.
So while he's doing that, can I use primeval awareness to take the time to figure out within 1 mile of me, are there aberrations, celestials, dragons,
Is there anything prime
elementals,
or-
fays, fiends, undead? I don't like undead. I don't like crypts. Bad things have happened in the past.
What, your body just not being your own?
Yeah,
We got to beat up on you then. It was fun.
yeah, I'm waiting for that to be able to be returned.
Now that night
Let me double check here. And it's anywhere within a mile?
Within a mile.
You don't know the exact location.
Nope,
You just know
I
that
do not.
they exist.
Okay. You do get a sense. Let me check this one because I'm not sure. You don't get any sense of fiend or go through the list for me one more time. Because within a mile, there's no aberrations here.
Yay!
Fiends, fae, celestials, undead.
No fae, no fiend,
Celestials?
no celestial, no undead,
Dragons?
no dragons.
Oh, I love this place.
Decent giants.
And yet, and last time you didn't.
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, and undead.
Elementals.
You do get a sense of an elemental presence.
Cool.
Oh, it's probably the giant wave of earth.
coming at us.
Can I can't remember if I did this at the end of last episode or not, but can I just go ahead and send Jojo up to see if he sees any movement around specifically the underground movement, but anything else
Yeah,
around the
sure.
outside of the.
Go ahead and make a perception check for Jojo. How far up are you sending him?
How tall is the temple?
The temple itself is 15, 20 feet. It's a single story up here
Okay.
on the surface
interesting.
level.
Sure. Okay. Let's say 100 feet.
100 feet? Okay.
Yep.
Lauren, just for the layout, so this is a U shape with like the statue in the middle, but we're still outside, and the temple is a circular, right?
Yeah.
So we're
But you-
essentially. I'm gonna do a little doodle here and see if I can't get people to see this.
That's a 25 perception for Jojo.
Impressive.
Dang.
Natural 19.
As a matter of fact, Jojo does see that same wave of Earth moving off in the distance, as sort of peripherally moving some ways away. It's not moving towards you, and you're not quite sure how far it is. But the one thing Jojo does note is that, oh wait, this is significantly larger than you had thought at first. This is not like a little, just I'm trying to think of a good
Like
example. It's not just a little like 1 to 2 foot little furrow that's been raised off of the earth. This is a large, like not quite tidal wave, but a large something large is moving under the ground and is leaving this mark in its wake.
with a 25, is there anything in the wake or about the movement? Can he tell any indication of if it's natural or mechanical?
It seems to be something natural. It doesn't look like a mechanical construct.
Okay.
He doesn't get a sense of any like he can't see whatever is causing it at all. He's just
Sure.
seeing this wake
The
that's
effects of
being
it. Yeah.
where the earth has been disturbed from its movements under the ground.
Okay. And that's all I see is nothing else specifically like closer to the temple or anything?
Closer to the temple, everything is very quiet.
Okay.
It's almost eerie how quiet and how little movement there is of activity right around the temple.
Great.
Hey, Lauren, is
Yes.
that about? So the circle is about the temple, the square is the statue, and the X's are us. Is that about what it looks
I
like?
see the circle. I see the square.
Okay, well that's the important part. Is that so? Circle is temple,
Yeah,
statue.
that's about right.
Well,
So I think
Did
if
we
we're gonna what time is it?
Yeah,
By the start,
late.
by the day.
The
5,
sun
6?
is going down. You're guessing it's probably 8, 9 at night.
do we feel like it's safer to camp like in this little alcove here?
Wisdom roll.
Like is I don't know, like is that the
I mean,
weird
we'll be
creature-
inside the hut, but whether it's a
I feel like a large enough creature to make something that big could possibly swallow said hut.
But at least would be inside. Inside.
well
and I could keep that going for a while while we figured
I'll
something
be-
out, or we're digested and
Come
exited naturally.
Are we planning on
Not an
going ahead and
experienced
camping
Watson.
sooner rather than later? So I have a few tricks I can pull.
I think
given the time, I think that might not be a terrible idea. And I know some of us got hurt a little bit in the journey and are tired of it.
For a little bit.
Okay, can we make our way towards the entrance of the...
That's what I'm thinking. I think perhaps I may look inside and see how it is. And if it's too terrible, perhaps maybe we'll sleep indoors.
We have, I have the ability to detect traps at range. So if we want to get to the entrance and I can cast that, we can at least make sure that there are no
Do that.
traps.
Do that from the entrance, and then
Yeah.
if we don't catch anything, I'll walk in and see what it looks like.
I like this idea.
Okay, so we do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast a fourth level healing word on myself, just because I'm low, just because I'm nervous about something happening.
Okay.
Yeah, if
Okay.
something goes down.
So Val, what's the radius on your detect traps?
I'm trying to pull it up and it's not letting me. Give me a second. There it goes.
It got me up to 50, so
120 feet.
Within line of sight. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it is
line
within
of
line of
sight.
sight.
Yep.
Where are you looking specifically for this? What
I'm
describe to
going
me how you're
I'm going to walk with Solix up to the entrance,
I'm gonna walk with them.
and as whenever Solix says, "All right, let's stop here," and then whatever I can see, up to 120 feet.
I mean, right to the door.
okay.
Well,
Are
is
you
it
going to the
or
door
is
of
it-
the temple or towards the underground tunnel leading towards the undercroft?
The actual temple itself, the up part.
Okay.
Kind of looking for.
Okay. So you go and you start inspecting the door, and the entrance and the temple itself is clear. You don't sense any traps.
Then I will open up. It's a doorway or archway. What is it exactly?
It's a doorway. You see it's old dry wood, and it's hanging a little bit off the hinges where it has just worn and warped, and where the wind and sand has worn things away, eroded it away. So it may take a little bit of doing to get open, but it's possible.
I'll open it up.
Before we enter, do you have the ability to commune with Muhammad at this point?
Not in the manner which you're speaking, but we'll see what
No.
is within this temple.
I have, before we go in, I'd like to make sure we're not watched. How would you feel about that?
Watched by who?
Anything at this point? Or are we being watched? Are we being...
I don't fear any eyes that might be honest at this point.
I feel like, if you will, this is Solix's place, so to speak, and
Perhaps down below we could use that, but
I don't think anything trying to block the eyes of.
No, it's not blocking. It's just finding out if we are.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
I think we'll be okay for now. Call it a leap of faith, if you will. And I will.
Faith in underground places, that's gonna
We're
be-
not going underground yet, like I said. Yeah, perhaps underground, but this is the temple up here.
That's true.
So I will attempt to get the door open.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Athletics?
Can I help him out because I'm with him?
Sure. You go ahead and roll an athletics check also.
Hmm.
Or if you would like, you can describe how you're going to assist him, and he can roll with advantage.
I'm going to be working on the hinges that you said they're rusted, right?
Worn and falling apart,
Yeah,
essentially.
so my goal is to go and kind of work on the hinges a little bit and see if I can get the leverage and just working a little bit of things loose while he.
I believe, Doran, didn't you get some oil that he could possibly use for that? Didn't somebody get oil when did a shopping
I have
trip?
oil and slipperiness,
Yeah,
but
oil.
I don't think we need it as I rolled a 23
With or without advantage?
without.
Okay.
Yes.
Just for kicks, roll again. See what that would
That
be.
one was a natural 2. So
Okay, so we'll stick with the 23. And it takes 5 or 6 seconds with Halbert's assistance to sort of get everything lined up so you can actually move the door and get it in. And there's an awful, awful racket it makes as it's just everything is stiff and squealing as it's shifting, and you're working it open, but you do manage to get it open.
Is it dark inside?
It is dark inside.
Do I
What can
see
I see
anything in
dark?
the immediate vicinity?
You see a stoneworked room. You see there are what looks to be a couple of abandoned birds' nests where the feathers have drifted down, but there is no sign of actual animal presence here. There are a couple of carved wooden pews and stoneworked tables and a basin set right inside the door, but you go in and it's quiet. Your steps almost echo to fill the space because it is so silent.
Now, I want to note, I'm only going in if he's going in. I'll go in beside him, but I'm not crossing the threshold before the Arbiter does.
One of the things you do note, especially because you're staying so close to him, Halberd, there is a very slight luminescence that's coming off of his shield.
Is it rusty?
It's this silvery, almost silvery white sort of light that's emanating very softly. Not even as bright as candlelight.
That is new on me.
Yes, well,
You don't have dark vision, do you?
no.
I'm going to relay what I told you.
Not having dark vision, I would walk in and be like, "Hey, this is kind of glowing a little bit."
Yeah, even more so.
Yeah. But I will cast light as I tend to do in dark places, not being able to see, and so I
I
will
appreciate that.
cast light as I normally do on the Bahamut of my shield.
Okay.
And does it take?
It does take.
Okay.
In fact, it seems to be a little bit brighter than even it normally would be. There's an element to it where it's kind of shadowed, and you can see where the rust that has started overtaking part of the shield is blocking some of that light. But where it does take, where the light of Bahamut does shine, it shines even brighter than you're used to.
Okay. As I walk into the temple, is there like a center, like altar or dais or something like that in here?
There is actually. You didn't see it at first because it's set to where the center of the U shape would be. There is a slightly raised area where a person you could guess would be able to speak and their voice be heard throughout this entire place.
Okay.
It's slightly raised from the ground itself.
But there's no like altar or any like thing like that present.
No particular shrine is set up here. No.
Okay. I will.
Make a perception check for me.
Yeah, that's an 8.
8. No, it's a little weird that there's not a shrine here, but I mean, this place is
tracks.
old.
It tracks. This is an old place.
Yeah.
This is a forgotten place. I will go to the center sort of dais area, and then I will take my shield and sort of prop it up to where the Bahamut is actually sort of facing me, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will kneel down in front of it and I will just sort of sit there for a moment and see if I just sort of feel anything or get any sort of sense about what exactly this place is, or I'll just sort of sit there. And I will tell, as I sit there, I'll turn to Howard and tell him, go ahead and have everyone else come inside to the entrance. Tell K-Store he can start casting the hut. This seems a safe place.
I'll walk to the door. I'm not gonna walk out, but I'll motion them to come on out.
I do that.
Okay. You enter into the shadowed room, and it's interesting because the light coming off the shield, especially where Solyex's shadow is being cast against the wall, is a little striking because you can see this draconic head shape in fairly clear profile against the wall, and you're like, it's realistic enough at first, and it's striking enough at first where you're taken aback, especially Halberd, once you turn around and you see this behind you. It's like this large dragon shape against the wall, and then you look and you blink and no, wait, it's Solyex, it's his shadow, it's fine. You'll have to clear a little bit of debris. There's been sand and rocks and things that have blown in, and some of these old decrepit wooden pews. There's not a clear area on the floor just yet for you to set up the hut, but it shouldn't take long to accomplish that if that's something you'll want to go ahead and get started with. Solyex.
I'll help him. I'll help Kate.
Go ahead. Solyex, go ahead and roll a religion check for me.
Yep. My dice are doing great today.
Believe in the heart of the cards.
Nope. 9.
9.
Believe hard enough.
You sit and you watch the light play over the shield, and it's there's a steady light that's coming from it, but as you're gazing on it and as you're looking into this, you get the sense of a ripple of movement almost over the dragon face, and it's warm, almost hot. And this is unusual for you because you handle heat really well, but there's a sensation as the light continues to shine on you, and it's so brief, but there's almost like a flash of heat, almost as though from an explosion, that washes over you, and you blink and it's gone. As the light is still, no more of this flickering ripple of movement. It is as it was when you first cast it.
Okay. I was gonna sit there for a little bit more while they prepare a space for the night.
When
So Lauren,
Yeah.
Is this just a singular room? The entrance we came in is the only entrance?
It is a singular room. The U shape is basically a hollowed out shape. There is a door also on the other side, opposite of the one you came into.
Meaning like at the two ends of the U?
Yes.
Or do we? Okay.
When we're done clearing a space, I'm going to walk over and just sit in the shadows and watch Solyex and just see how that goes.
Okay.
And when you're done, I'll just walk with you back to the tiny hut.
I'll wait for a little bit.
So are we casting the tiny hut inside the U, like in the building, or just inside the U?
Inside the building.
In the building.
At the apex of the U or near one of the doors?
Towards the entrance.
Towards the entrance of the door.
All right, I will start that.
Entrance is
So that
kind
part-
of in the middle of you, right?
When I see that,
Yeah, the entrances are on either side of the U.
so whatever side we entered from and cleared out that spot. So whenever I see the tiny hut go up, I will get up and pick up my shield and walk back to it.
Seems like a awkward way to make a building. Just make this curved mute, whatever.
Well,
Fantasy world.
did he have anything to say to you?
Nothing to say. Just more to think about.
Isn't there always?
This should
Isn't
be
there always?
an interesting journey ahead of us as we figure out what's below us.
Mm-hmm. Walk up, put my arm on her shoulder, tap twice as we walk.
Right. So I guess we'll just stay here for the night. I'll go get some rest, and then tomorrow morning, to start with you all, I would like to head down into the lower parts and see what's below us. See if there's any more stories for the walls to tell. I feel like there's an interesting history here that has probably been forgotten. It would be good to be remembered, not documented properly or something. So, yes, I think it'll be good. We'll get some sleep and go down if that's all right with everyone.
Aye.
Mhm.
Satan.
Rissa, who has come in and joined y'all, she nods and it'd be good to get some good rest. I don't know how long you're intended to spend here, but I really should be getting back and helping there, and I'll be willing to wait until evening tomorrow, but at that point I do need to return to the Sanctum.
Well,
You think you can finish your explorations in that time?
I do hope so. Perhaps it might be best if you. I know Val has been communicating with you, so if you would be agreeable to it, I don't know what's on the surface here, but if you would not mind staying here and keeping an eye out, and if in a day we haven't returned, Val can message you and let you know that we are safe and alive, and you can return to the Sanctum, and we'll continue on from here. If you are agreeable to that.
Hey, we can do that. I'll keep an eye out for the wee beastie that seems to be making its home in this area. I'm sure I'll find a way to let you know if it comes closer, becomes more of a threat.
I do thank you for everything that you have done for us, and sorry for any damage that may have happened, and asking you to traverse us across great distance. But I do appreciate your aid in these endeavors.
No, it was a fun little jaunt. It's been quite a while since I've had to spend this much time outside of the Sanctum walls. It's been good to reconnect with the actual worlds that we protect.
Nothing like a walk through the desert to make you feel happy for the nice home of the Sanctum, right?
I don't know if I'd go quite so far as to call it a nice walk through the desert, but you've got the sentiment.
Maybe a little less reconnecting in the future. More civilized reconnecting, possibly.
Quite possibly. And speaking of that, you'll pardon me, but I'm still quite tired from these last few days' exertions.
Absolutely.
Shall we get some rest?
We shall. I think I'll stay up for a moment. If you all wish to sleep, I will take first watch.
Wake
Seeing
me up in 4.
Yep.
Rissa heading towards bed, I'm gonna go sit next to her for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this quietly for just the two of us, but Rissa, you and I both know that you're capable of more than we've seen. Is there something going on with your magic, with your powers that we don't know about?
Make a perception check.
Supposed to be good at these.
Oh, yes, I am. Perception is 27.
27. Okay. You see her sort of subtly stiffen a little bit as you speak and you bring this up, and then she sort of looks at you and then shakes it off and is like, there were a number of things that I've had to take care of lately that have been draining on one level or another. The magical exertions of more challenging spells have, well, they've had an effect. And I'll be honest, there were a number of things I also had to take care of while you and your friends were out and about in town that were not nearly as restful as I would have hoped.
So, just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, are you trying to say that you're just tired?
Plays into it. It's more than that, but that's a good enough start, I suppose. You and your friends look to have survived all of this completely intact. I'm pleased you were safe.
More or less.
Owen's protection, well, his sacrifice is paid off.
I wish I could have done more to help him, but he literally shoved me through a portal, so can't say that was the most harrowing of my experiences, but definitely ranks up there.
He did his best to protect you, Val, and it was probably for the best. Look at you here, connecting to people more than I think I've ever seen you, apart from there and Intagram. You've truly found your people.
They seem to be worth keeping alive. Whether or not that I'm able to do so remains to be seen. But not to press more than you'd like me to, but I'm also not known for being one to know boundaries. What's in the night? Listen, you can teleport more than once a day. You can cast magic unlike anything I've ever seen. On par with Liren and Tyrek any day. Maybe even more so. It's not like you to hide these type of things.
There's more out there happening even than you know, Val. It's nothing you need to concern yourself with. Truly, if it was, the effects would have started showing already. You're fine. Let me take care of this.
I mean, holding ominous better. As ominous as that sounds, and as much as I'm happy to leave everything in your very capable hands, we're dealing with deities here. We're dealing with things that are, I'll admit, beyond us in ways that I didn't even know existed before too long ago. I'd rather not be sent into the fight blind. I know you don't want to worry us, but
we're worried.
Honestly, Rissa, we need to know as much information as we can.
Make a persuasion check.
8.
You saw what comes though.
I know.
Give her the Simba eyes.
18? Roll a natural 19. It's the best I can do, guys.
That's still a pretty good roll.
Simba eyes.
Do the anime eyes.
Or those.
She looks at you And there's a... What's your passive insight?
Oh gosh. 19.
Okay. You get a brief glimpse at a sadness that comes into her eyes. Her face stays still, her voice stays level, but there's something that you pick up about her eyes as she's saying this. After everything happened, when the Sanctum fell, there are repercussions on those of us who stayed. Owen felt it coming. I think it hit him first out of all of us. And he tried to get as many people safe and gone as they could. Val, I think the Sanctum's been cursed. And I don't know how to fix it. None of the clerics or priests or holy people I've talked to have had any clue of how to solve this. But there's something that is literally eating away at the magic of those of us most strongly connected to the Sanctum.
That's not good. Does that have to do with, and I'll point to the satchel, does that have to do with why these are becoming more disconnected, or is that just a natural process?
I think it's just a natural part of them being disconnected from the Sanctum. But I imagine whatever is happening with the Sanctum is not helping. Now, if we can get these and restore the Sanctum, she's always been good about strengthening us, tying us over, protecting us. At this point, that's our best hope.
I know that Laird has been through a lot. Has anyone found where they're keeping Tyrek yet?
Not yet. We've had people searching for him as much as for Laren. Though I must confess that the recovering Laren has taken most of our focus these past weeks.
I mean, understandably so. But Tyrek has the ability to call on their deity for aid. It may be a last-ditch effort, but it would be worth trying.
It's possible.
We may need to focus, now that we've recovered there, and we may need to refocus on Tyrek before this curse eats away at everything.
Keep an ear out in your travels for any holy items or curse-breaking abilities. There are those who seem to specialize, from what I've been told. Some deities, I mean, it would help if we could figure out the source of the curse, if that is what it is, and not some arcane plague inflicted on us. It might be something unique to the Sanctum. If there's any sort of bleed over that we're feeling from what's hurting her, there's just too much we don't know yet, Val.
It seems to be our standard mode of operation nowadays. All right, well, get some rest. Thank you for sharing with me, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. And then I'm gonna move a little bit away from her, and I'm gonna cast sending to Tarek.
Okay. You go ahead. You cast sending. Roll a d20 for me. Okay. That is still not a nat 1, so you still feel the spell connect and take hold.
We've recovered therein. She's safe at the Sanctum. Trying
where
to reconnect. We are with Rissa recovering journals. Where are you? Can we get to you?
You finish your sending, the message that you send, and you know that it connected. But all you hear on the other end are a couple of groans and almost groaning whimpers. There's an almost animalistic grunt. And there's no actual communication back. And then you feel the limits of the spell end, and it is done.
Ruh-roh.
So you said you're taking watch, right?
Yeah.
So it's about how far does that sacred hallowed ground extend?
60 feet. I sense within 60 feet. So beyond that, I do not know, but that is the limit of my sphere of sensing.
There's more going on with the Sanctum than we were previously aware, and I think that while we're on the right track, they could use some help finding Tarek. I'd like to go commune with Sanine, but I'd rather not anger your god at the same time.
Lauren, would I know if there would be an issue if he were to commune with Sanine around here? Like, do I know the relationship between Bahamut and Sanine and how that?
From everything that you've heard, actually make a religion check. We'll go with that.
What check can you more? There's an 18. Stupid. 23.
23. You know that Sanine is a primarily an elven deity, and that the goals that her followers have are not necessarily contradicting anything that Bahamut teaches. That they are both favored or they both favor sort of a moral uprightness in their followers and in what they teach. So you don't get the sense that there would be any conflict, but perhaps maybe not in the temple itself.
But he doesn't have to like go out in the middle of the desert to do it, though.
Not unless he wants to.
He can just step outside and it would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I tell you that.
Okay. All right. So I'll let everybody else figure out what they're doing, and I'll gather my stuff to go cast commune.
All right, we'll
My very
jump
first
to that in a
commune.
minute. Is there anything else anyone wanted to do?
I'm sleeping for 4 hours and I'm getting up.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
and I'll
just
do
like
my
look
stuff.
around the area, see if there were any interesting anything.
All right. Doran, make a check for your stone sense.
All right, and okay, closed books and things. That's roll plus double proficiency, right?
History roll plus double proficiency, I believe.
Yeah. I'm just checking just to make sure I'm not lying. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Yep. All right. The roll is garbage.
Thankfully, you're smart.
Yeah. Right.
It should be roll plus 12.
Yeah. So 15 total.
Okay.
Had to mentally figure that out.
Turn to 3.
I have a mental something.
It's almost as bad as Roots.
You're
I rolled a
looking
3.
around. Are you staying inside the temple, or are you looking at the murals and the carvings on and how it's built on the outside? Also, how are you going about this?
I looked at that at the end of the last time we played, so I assume I'd be inside now. To look at new things.
So you're looking at the inside, and the inside is less. It's simpler, but you notice there are very strategic, not fault lines, but the lines of the building and how it is built is very cleverly designed to draw the eye towards the altar, the dais in the middle of the sort of at the bottom of the U. You don't find anything else in particular. No markings. The most of the artwork and the specificity of the temple is on the outside from what you have seen earlier. But the longer that you spend in here, the more confident you are in this knowledge that this was designed and built by a larger scale than any humanoid creature you have seen before. You're pretty sure this was giant built.
Yeah, I learned that last time.
Mm-hmm. You're growing more and more confident in that knowledge.
It is confirmed, young Padawan.
Yeah. Soon I'll be a knight, then a master.
Ooh. It is night outside. What are you talking about?
What? How did that happen?
Oh my gosh.
I'm a knight.
No, you're not. You're a paladin.
I'm a holy knight.
Oh, holy
I
night.
play that. I'm going to set that up. I hope somebody do it. But our bard is incapable of singing, apparently.
I just hear the bunny from Zootopia going, "It's night?"
You know, on a completely unrelated note, I'm swinging the tree charm thing around like a dingus, and it splatted into my pizza. So there's like red on the tree, and I feel deeply concerned that Bahamut's
Ominous.
telling me that things. Yeah,
Bad omen.
I'm just wanted to.
Foreshadowing.
That is what cursed
Still gonna
the
eat the
Sanctum.
pizza though.
DM is like taking that into consideration.
Ooh, I haven't done that.
Oh,
Mark down.
I will clean this later though.
He's-
But I will still eat my pizza because I'm a heathen.
Enjoy your pizza.
It's a Sanctum blessed pizza now.
Yay! That's what it is.
I saw a
I
tree in
get
my
extra
pizza.
hit points.
But if the Sanctum's cursed,
Oh no!
Bad timing, you know. It happens.
All right. Anything else, or shall we go ahead and jump to Val?
Guess we'll jump back to Val.
Jump back to you, boy.
All right, Val, what are you doing?
All right, so I'm gonna go out and go a little ways away so I don't disturb those that are trying to sleep, but not so far that I can't very quickly haul glute back to the dome should things go awry.
My new favorite phrase.
Oh shoot! Oh shoot!
Gonna hog
I'm gonna set up my little incense and my little vial of holy water. And actually, right before I cast Commune, I'm gonna cast Sending to Tyrek one more time. Because it's a mental in your head thing, and Val would know this. because he's cast sending a lot now.
He's very familiar with it, yes.
Basically going to scream inside my head, "Wake up! I know you can hear me. You don't need to talk out loud. You need to tell me where you are." Where am I at?
There's two left.
I count 3.
Where you at, dog?
Did you have to wake up?
Yeah, there's 2 words.
Oh, okay.
So 3 left.
You have 2.5 words left.
Okay.
Okay, half a word. You douche face.
Just wake up now.
All right.
up.
Roll the d20 again.
Exact same. 2.
Okay. That is fine. You
You're
did
getting
that
us out of
one.
the way.
You get the same response. Except this time it's preceded by a sort of a mental wail. There's no communication, no words, no even real sign that there's understanding of what's being said. Just an instinctual response.
Intriguing. Would I know if the difference between him being asleep and him being basically unable to mentally respond?
Even if you haven't done this with him in particular for a while, you get the sense that he's awake. You felt the spell connect, and there was just no response given.
That's disturbing. All right, I'm gonna settle in. Grab hold of my little charm thingy, my holy symbol, and I will cast Commune. Burning that 5th level.
And you get attacked now.
Right.
Question: did you scry already today, or was that yesterday?
Yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yep.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did it right. I saved the 5th levels before we're going to bed.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Solix, for reminding me to do that.
Yeah. Don't burn them in the morning. Like an
Yep.
idiot.
All right. First question. How to phrase this? It's got to be yes or no's. No. Are we?
Or worse, yeah.
Oh God. Are we currently being watched or observed? Hold on, not finished yet. I was just trying to figure out how to phrase that part. Are we currently being watched or observed?
New phone. Who did?
By right? By a creature. Because the deities are watching, so I want to clarify.
That's
Sorry,
that's the question. Okay.
Yes.
There is a brief darkening of the moon as a shadow passes over it. You get the sense that no, you're not being watched.
Right.
Cryptic. Cryptid.
Do we currently have within our power the means to restore the sanctum? Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
A cold wind from the cooling desert comes and blows and swirls the sand around you. It's kind of unclear at this point. You don't know if Sainin actually has the answer to that. That might be a little bit outside of her jurisdiction.
Fair enough. All right. Focusing on the I want to call it the dungeon entrance, but you know what I'm talking about.
The crypt, or am I being too cryptic? Sorry.
Are there any living creatures in the crypt below us?
The moonlight shines on you. There is a strong yes.
So
So
He
hoping.
knows about Bahamut's area.
That's not comforting.
I know, right? Okay, I'll clean everything up.
Yeah, clean up yourself, jeez.
All right.
Should have done that before you talked with God.
Goddess. I'll
I'm
walk
kidding.
back and find Solex and, well, slightly less helpful than I was hoping, but to kind of be expected with where we are. However, did discover with certainty there are living creatures in the crypt below us. So,
Well, that is concerning and comforting, given the fact that Howard didn't pick anything up that would normally be hostile towards us. This should be interesting.
I thought so too. On that note, though, I'm going to bed. We can tackle this in the morning.
Yes, we will.
Because I am sunburned as a mofo.
And then, Lauren, for the rest of my watch, I'm just going to sit there and say, you know the struggle that I've been having, and the questions that I have. I feel as if this place could hold answers for me. And I do hope that there can be, well, it would be really nice if I could learn something while I was here. I'm not sure who to trust at this point, or what to. And I do hope I can find answers here that will help shed light into places that is needed. This place seems forgotten, which is unfortunate because I feel like it should not have been. But I guess we'll see what that is in the morning. And then I'll just kind of sit there for the rest of my watch.
As you finish sort of talking out loud, this luminescence that your shield has been producing seems to grow stronger for a moment, a pulse of brighter light, and then it dims back to where it was.
1 for no, 2 for yes.
Yep. All right. I guess I'll wake up Howard and then I'll go to sleep and
Okay.
get ready for the morning.
Go ahead and for the rest of your watch, while you're waiting for Halberd to wake up, make a perception check for me.
Yay! Whoa! The modified 20.
Nice.
Very nice.
Did something.
Now, towards the end of your watch, there's a brief tremor that starts to shake the ground underneath you. You start feeling a very slight vibration.
Okay.
It lasts for a minute, 2 minutes, and then it starts fading.
Somebody put more quarters on the bed.
That was fun.
This is why I wanted to sleep inside. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Halbert, you're taking the next watch.
Mhm.
Anything you want to do particularly for your watch, or are you just going to
Yeah.
maintain a
Gonna go take what like nice benches or pews are left. If I can, I move them.
Mhm.
Cool. And I'm just gonna organize the place a little bit, and then sit down and watch where the giant shadow was, the dragon shadow, and pull out this and work on that a little bit. And just kind of sit and be and observe.
All right. Make a dexterity check for me.
Please. Modified 20.
All right.
Modified 20. All right. You
It is.
Right.
I think I've had this longer than we've been filming.
Mhm.
No, you got to do talking.
Yeah,
Just
that's
a
right.
Jack, just a Jack in the
Almost as
box.
long as we've been filming.
Anyways,
almost. No, you take it and you twist it and you move it in your hands. And there's a moment where pieces press together and shift, and there's a click. And this warmth that it seems to be emanating starts to almost glow like a something just pulled from a forge. It's not hot, so hot that it burns, but there's a warmth to it and a sort of a calming vibration, like a buzz, a quiet buzz almost as it sits in your hand. That's new. Hasn't done that before. You look at it and you turn it over and you can see there's through all of the lines and designs and shapes that are carved into it, you can see there's a complete circle that has formed around it, almost like a seam that can be twisted or opened.
Well, I'm gonna look at the shadow, or where the shadow was. Like, I'm fairly sure we're not really alone in this sacred ground, are we? And I know many people hold answers that I don't, but I'm also curious. So I hope I'm doing no disrespect in here, and then I'm going to open it up.
Okay. You twist it open, and there is a bright flash of light. And you're holding the two halves in your hand, and your body is frozen. And you get the sense that there is a presence, something else here. And echoing through your mind, you just hear, I wish. What do you do?
Hubbard just got possessed again.
I'm going to, well, one, would I know what that is referencing?
I mean, it is a long-standing tradition to wish when you make when you see a falling star, or when you break the wishbone of a chicken or a turkey. Like, there are many, or throw a coin in a well. Like, there are many traditions that harken back to that words. And you get this sense that there's a greater source, a greater power, something that all of these stem from. And you've never really put a whole lot of stock to it. Like, Halbert's not that he doesn't put a whole lot of stock in the supernatural necessarily. He's not superstitious. That's the word I was looking for. But there's something about this moment. There's something about this in your hands where there's this pressure and this expectation and this sense of growing power that whatever you say next, whatever you wish, might actually happen.
Chaos brigade. Chaos brigade. Chaos brigade.
I'm gonna hold it, look at it, put it back together. Do I get the sense that I am safe to say things such as "I wish" now without it having massive consequences?
Before you actually manage to twist it and to contain it, I do need you to make a wisdom saving throw as you're fighting, and there's this pressure to not have this be contained again.
Modified 20. Praise the Lord.
There is a feeling of protestation, a pressure that increases, and your hands inch closer together. You struggle against it. There's this contained power that you're trying to compress and to fit back into a space. You just barely manage to bring the two pieces together, to struggle, to twist, to seal it. And as soon as there's a click, as you have put it back together, that pressure is gone. That sense of power, that sense of presence is gone.
Do I also get the feeling like this isn't something I'm going to have to waste 20 years of my life to reopen again?
You don't see these shapes move. You still see that seam where it has been twisted open and closed. It looks the same at this point.
I mean, you are an elf. You got a while.
I do. I'm going to tuck this away in like a hidden compartment so that no one can just come in and, oh, that looks shiny. Plop that out.
The genie in the bath.
Right. And then look back at the wall and be like, well, that was unique, but I guess it might not be surprising to some. But I do hope if you're listening to someone who doesn't necessarily ascribe to you, I know your Arbiter has been wrestling. So if you might be able to help him out a little bit, I know he'd appreciate it. You know, I worry about the young buck sometimes. But I think he's on a good path with you. And I'll get up and start cleaning up the temple some more and then wait for the morning.
All right, make a perception check.
16.
16. As you get up and you start putting stuff away, shifting things around, there's a brief flash of movement that you catch out of the corner of your eye. There's a small winged shape that seems to have darted past a window.
Zephyr strike.
Yes.
That is his go-to.
It's Tyra.
Do I hear anything?
With you'd have heard a fluttering of wings. Very brief, like a small bird.
And then it's just gone.
And then it's just gone.
I'll finish setting things in order, and when it's daytime, I'll wake them up.
Okay. Everybody go ahead and take the benefits of a long rest. You all wake up in the morning.
Oh, that was, yeah. That was a lot.
Got all my spells back.
Yeah, you do. You are ready to go cast hammer.
Yeah, I need to pick spells.
That joke never gets old. I don't care what they say.
So y'all awaken in the morning, and those of y'all with a passive perception 15 and above, one of the things you notice is Rissa wakes up later than the rest of y'all, and she moves stiffly. And even though y'all have awoken rested and prepared for the day, there's still just this weight that she seems to carry with her.
That's
I
concerning.
like where this is going.
All right, so y'all are up and getting moving for the rest of the day. What do y'all want to do?
Breakfast sounds good.
Okay, breakfast.
Yeah, well, I mean, do we have anything? I still have some of those
Mm-hmm.
dried food rations we can eat.
We bought a whole ton more.
Oh, no, I've been keeping track of our food consumption, so I'll hand out dry rations to everybody. And then I guess
Lauren, how tall is the temple? Like, is this just a single story where we're at, or is there stairways going up, or is it just like this one story and then everything goes down?
The temple that you're in itself is just a single story. You don't see any stairways leading up. The only evidence you've seen of something going down is this sort of descending tunnel entrance that you would guess leads to an undercroft of some kind.
Do it.
which is casting spells.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't pass my. Never mind. Cool. I'm going to, while everyone's chowing down on breakfast, I'll walk around and look at things in the daylight and see what it looks like inside while people figure out their spell stuff. And I'll invite Dorn to come take a
I
walk
will
with me.
also do the thing that he said that he
Yeah.
invited me to do.
All right. The inside of the building itself is fairly plain. You can see there are elements of very lightly blue and gray veins that run through the stone that you didn't see in the dim light of the evening that are more apparent here in the light of the morning. And all of these stones and all of the workings are designed to draw the eye to the center point, this dais. It seems like the more decorative parts of the temple itself were in the murals that were contained or sort of carved into the walls on the outside.
Okay.
How old do you think this is, Master Dwarf?
Shall I
Doran.
roll? Hello.
No, you've looked and had enough exposure to this at this point. You get the sense that this is between 550, 600, 650 years old, somewhere in that time frame.
Okay, and that should line up, yeah, with the legend from the book that I read, because that was 600 years ago with the shattering before thing. So yeah, somewhere around 50 years after that war had happened, they must have built this place. That's what I'm assuming. That's what I can tell from what's left over here.
How many was that? Did I hear 600?
That's when the war apparently happened.
This
There's a
is
fly in my house, and it's really giving me a imagine. Please excuse me.
quite older than me.
Oy.
But looking around, I don't see anything. Like, there aren't any scripts. There's nothing about it, and it is gigantic. This place is large.
What he's doing here. All these lines seem to draw us into the center there. So there might be something over there later that we need to take at when we're ready.
Is this? I mean, I know dwarves are master stoneworkers. Is this dwarvish built? What is this?
Well, it seems. Frankly, it seems like it's giants, but I don't know the history here. Are there even giants around anymore? But looking from it, like it appears that something large like giants mean. That's what I'm saying. So that's where some of the history of the ruins come from as it is. So I don't know what's not really sure what's happening here.
This is quite different than anything I've ever experienced. I've never met a giant in real life.
Me neither, to be honest, despite the fact that I've learned the language.
I have you now.
Right.
I didn't know that. Well, that's quite-
It's something to do with the runes. Like I said, that's where they're coming from. Language comes to. I don't know. Or maybe it's my new headgear. I don't know.
Now, in your unbiased opinion, who are the better stoneworkers? The dwarves or giants?
It's hard not to be a wee bit biased. I do mostly metalworking, but a lot of us do that. Stoneworking, metalworking, that's our bread and butter. The giants, I don't know. I've never met one as far as I remember. Unless there was a shorter one running around somewhere. But seriousness, like, I'm not sure. I've never met one, to be honest. But this place is something. Very curious. Quite glad we're here.
I am too, although I will say I would very much like to see your homeworld sometime, Master Dwarf. I do believe that would be...
To get home, see Dad, see Auntie. Well, that'll be whenever we can get there, I suppose. Eh?
We'll see. We don't know what's at the end of this road, but if we'd make it to that far, I think it would be fun to go travel there. While we're walking, Lauren?
Yes.
I would like to see if there's any type of stairway down, because we know this thing goes down, and see if Doran could also help me out with that, because he's a lot smarter and then also better with stonework than I am.
That is something I think we'd be looking for.
Yeah. Is it something?
How does it go down?
Yeah. Is it only outside, or can we go down from the inside too? How is this thing built?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Both of us, or like?
Y'all can both make one, or you can make it one of y'all can make it at advantage. Y'all can decide.
What you want to do?
I mean, I don't mind if we both do it. That way we could, in essence, we can both be walking on different lines of the room and keeping our eyes open while we're talking.
Yeah. All right, we'll do it that way. Investigation. Wow.
16.
23.
Wow.
I rolled a 19.
Oh, dang, Skippy.
Very nice.
Rolled a 10.
I done good roll.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yay.
You're looking, and you don't see any carved stairway inside. You're looking, and you're getting the sense that the entrance to the Undercroft is primarily from this descending ramp outside.
Good to know.
We'll start walking on back, I guess, and relay that information. I do believe that Doran and I walked, right? I didn't see anything on my side. And
nothing I can find. I think we're descending from outdoors.
I do believe you're right, sir. I think this is, in my humble opinion, this is the temple of Saliex's deity of Bahamut, and it's very apparent this is ground for the Arbiter, and I'm definitely not him. I think as we go through, I'll have no problem taking point and walking alongside Saliex looking for things, but I'd like him to be up front as well. And seeing as this is sacred ground, I have no intention of taking anything from here unless the Arbiter himself sees fit to pass it on if we see anything. Treat it with
only
respect.
right. Yeah,
So,
I'm in agreement. It's only right.
Guess we'll see what we.
So looking at it and taking a few notes, I don't know if that's a problem now. Is it?
taking notes would be just fine.
Hey,
Stuff.
At the very least, if you can learn how to make
You say that as Val's reaching down to pick up. We do not collect souvenirs. Broken bows and bruises.
I'm also going to look at Casator and smile.
To be honest, I would be completely fine with taking something from here, as I've mentioned, having no particular love for the gods themselves, but out of respect for Solyex and our conversation and his relationship to his deity, I will respect his decisions and let him take the lead.
Do I believe him?
Kizator, are you being honest?
We can roll,
Go for it.
Oh!
whether it's persuasion or deception. You don't know.
You're the only one who knows.
Oh,
I did have inside of 23.
Got a 22.
my persuasion is 25.
Holy crap. Well,
But yeah,
he
if I'm
seems
being
quite
honest.
honest.
I do appreciate that, Casator, and I am grateful for all of you for being here with me as I go, and I do hope to learn something here. I know this is not where we intended to end up, but for me at least, I feel this is important.
I think it's been very eventful already. So,
Well, I suppose we should go down now.
I will,
Val's already halfway to the stairs. Oh, we were waiting.
yeah, I'll walk point with you if you don't mind. Look for track.
As y'all are emerging from the temple and passing by the murals to head towards the ramp that leads down to the Undercroft, who's got passive perception 18 or better? Okay.
Nope.
So you guys, something odd sort of catches your eye real quick as you're looking through the murals, and there's a fair amount of them that have just been worn away, that have been eroded, and some of the details have been lost, but there's a few odd patches where it looks like something has been deliberately cut away or carved away or sanded down to make details impossible to discern at this point. And you notice, you see these shapes, these old sort of bald patches seem mostly to crop up when there are other humanoids, other members of Zelisar's friends that are shown, these sort of group frescoes. And it's odd, it seems like something from that story has been deliberately damaged.
I'm
How old
gonna,
is the sapling Sanctum?
Y'all Sanctum? Val, do you remember?
5 years old.
No, it was
It was like 2 or
It was
250.
200. It was around 200 years that Owen was a partner. I want to say like 300-ish.
A little over 300 years.
I'm in the Sanctum, yo.
It's the freaking Sanctum crew that's been scratched out pre-Sanctum.
Um,
Are these patches bigger than like a 1 foot area, or are they smaller?
Some of them seem to be a little bit bigger, some of them are a little bit smaller. It seems to be consistent with the size of the humanoids that it shares the space with.
Sulyex, do you think that maybe this is something you could mend? That potentially you could restore what was removed?
Possible. I know with mending, it doesn't always. Are these their carvings? Are they paintings?
Carvings.
It may return it to its natural state and not the carved state, but it is worth a shot.
based on these pictures, do you recognize any of this history from your extensive schooling and learning?
Well, I do remember that the Arbiter, one of his companions was a a tiefling.
Oh, that's the picture over there, right?
Mm-hmm. But they in present times, tieflings are normally viewed as evil, and well, they were hunted down and destroyed. For my knowledge, that was obviously wrong. But to what I have learned is they have been eradicated. So this could have been an act of erasing history. But
Doran,
I can try.
Hello.
in your reading of the histories and the tales of this band, was there a falling out with any member, or
Lauren, did I read any of that?
Would I know any
No.
of that, Lauren? Any like?
Yeah, because the only part of the legends that I read was that was about the general area that this temple was.
Any
That,
excommunicados or kicked out on bad terms?
I never.
Celiax, make a religion check for me. Or history, either one.
Hold on. Casator, might there be a
Yes.
song you could sing to jaunt his memory? I know maybe there are tunes that bring back childhood learning. So I don't know.
Guidance.
Ooh, useful. All right. You only have so many lists.
Yeah, and he never uses that. Why are you worried about him running out? He might use one today.
your rolling history, right, to remember about this character?
Or religion, definitely
or
religion.
religion, either way. Some legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold. I hope you remember them. All I got.
Guidance. Well,
Nice. Take your inspiration.
what's this? A D8?
It is a D8.
He hasn't used it in so long, he didn't remember.
Right.
I always get so like nervous about the song, and I like freak out. I'm like, oh, I'll save it, and then I never use it.
Okay. So that's 25.
25. Okay. Something starts clicking in your brain. Because you remember Zelisar. You remember the group of friends that his stories coincide with. You remember they're all friends of the Arbiter, but you don't remember anything really about the Arbiter itself. You remember the stories that Zelisar was this swordsman, this powerful fighter, a knight of Bahamut that was called to accomplish these great things. You remember about the elven archer, Balar, who hailed from the elven forest. Rumors have, or legend has lost most of the specifics, but you seem to remember something about this forest being north of this swamp. You remember Fiera, who is this fighter that where'd my notes go?
That'd be the tiefling fighter.
This would be the tiefling fighter. Fiera. There my notes are.
Fiera.
Kind of, yes. I suppose. Making a mess.
We're just seeking attention.
Okay. You remember stories of Dantris, who was this, and as you're looking at the murals, you're starting to put faces to names and make these connections. Dantris was this halfling, a primarily an unarmed fighter, although a mean son of a gun with this cudgel. He had a reputation for violence and for a hot temper.
Looks similar to the other drawings we saw of those two short people that could have been gnomes.
Could have been gnomes, could have been halflings, and
The
you're
one holding the
looking
club.
likely, yes. You're looking at it now, and in the light of day, you're seeing this, and you're seeing, okay, that one's definitely a halfling. This one, those ears are too big. There's something about the line of the mouth that suggests larger teeth. Something about the knives held in the hands. Are those claws? You're looking. You're pretty sure this last figure, who you can't quite place. This isn't a halfling or a gnome. This looks like a goblin.
Awesome.
It's Gribble.
Yeah.
Gribble's 400 years old, actually.
Right. Gribble's of the immortal goblin. There can only be one Highlander.
The true Goblin King.
He also stumbled across a witch spell, like in his, goblin teen years, and was like, I want to live forever so I can help all the goblins.
That was quite the impersonation.
That also
Thank you.
checks
That
out.
was impressive.
That also checks
Yeah,
out.
that would 100% check out.
What was the name that started with a D?
Dantris?
Dantris,
Thank you.
welcome. You're seeing these figures, but you're not in all of the murals. You're not seeing the actual Arbiter.
So who was the Knight of Bahamut you said? The
Zelisar.
Zelisar, who this is he's like the main figurehead or whatever, I guess.
Yep.
Okay,
you
so
look up and you see this large statue of this person,
Right.
this dragonborn.
Okay,
Is
for some
there a-
reason, as we had talked earlier, I thought that he was the Arbiter.
Is there a color?
That was the impression that y'all had gotten,
Interesting.
especially because in all of these murals and all of this art, Zelisar is carrying this shield. He is the one who is sort of front and center in this art. Really, Solyax, it's only because of that book that Dorn had found back at the library in Whiteground. You remember, Zelisar's not the Arbiter, he's the friend of the Arbiter.
The Arbiter was a drag.
Yeah,
the Arbiter-
Dragonborn, right?
Was a Dragonborn, right?
I thought the statue was of a Dragonborn.
Okay, so Lauren,
It is.
just to make sure I'm getting this correctly. The
Dragonborn.
histories I learned was that Zelisar was a friend of the Arbiter, right? And
In the histories and the stories you were told, it's sometimes he's the Arbiter, sometimes he's a powerful knight who's cast sort of in the heroic role. You're thinking back on it, you're making this connection, you don't know. You thought maybe he was the Arbiter.
Now, looking at the statue, he has the shield and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
What
Okay.
color? Looking at
There's-
this, if the things are matching, if the shield is matching, do we have an idea? Is there a specific color on this dragonborn
Yeah,
holding
I was actually
the?
going to ask that.
It was brass. wasn't
Yeah, the statue here has all of the anatomical features of a brass dragonborn.
Okay.
But so I'm just
And
curious.
What was the
Yeah.
Fiera person? That was
Fear is this tiefling.
He was a
Okay.
tiefling fighter.
So
Yep,
and
so-
their history based on what Alex is telling us. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna ask him. There's never a confusion with them ever being the Arbiter. Like
No.
there is no. So it's always just what is it, Zelisar
Yeah, Zelisar is always possibly.
or Arbiter, or there's a missing figure.
Yeah.
Are we able to tell which figures are missing? Based off what he told us.
These ones that you have had Solix explain to you, Balar and Fiera, Dantris, this goblin-esque, you think might be Koa, although in a lot of the stories, Koa is a gnome.
That tracks.
You see Zelisar pictured here.
Historical
you do notice,
revisionism.
though. You do notice, though, in a fair number of the murals, the carvings, Zelisar is not actually holding the shield.
This is so interesting.
Yeah, who is
The-
holding the shield, if anybody?
I've
You don't
got
see
another
it.
name.
You
written
start
down.
looking, you start casting your eyes over the carvings, trying to find this familiar shape. You don't see it.
The
But he's holding
statue.
the shield in this massive statue of him, right?
And the statue, yes.
Well, my question is, the statue is obviously of the Arbiter. It's got the shield and everything, right?
Mhm.
Is there anything that denotes that that is Zelisar, or we just know that that is the Arbiter?
So, question.
Yes.
I'm gonna reach over to the door and ask him, based off your experience, which one is older, the murals or the statue?
Do I need to roll?
I'm not even going to make you roll for that. No, the murals are significantly older. The statue is probably 150, 200 years newer.
Okay.
Oh,
So not 150 years old, it's just 150 years newer than
Yes.
the real-
Right. So you
Yeah.
guess it's probably 400 years old, give or take a couple of decades.
Okay. So
There you Lauren,
So
when
Zelisar,
I
what do we know about Zelisar? So we see a statue of
sorry,
of brass dragonborn carrying Arbiter equipment.
Yeah.
Do we see a drawing of a brass dragonborn that we think is Zelisar?
You see, there's a dragonborn figure carved into the murals holding a longsword and fighting alongside the rest of these, yes.
Okay, I'm going to attempt mending on the parts that I've torn out and see if
While he does
if
that, Lauren.
restores anything.
Okay.
when I originally got the legend from you, when I read
Garrett?
I'll get the wrong name, or is this another name that we have?
sorry, say that again. You cut out.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you cut out.
I'm dying inside. I've been trying to say this for like 5 minutes. When I originally got the legend from you, when I found the book, I have the name Felor, and this was some fighter person. Is that another name, or did I somehow get the wrong name for the tiefling?
You probably have Balar, who is the,
I do have Felor, but I also have Felor. So do I somehow have a name that's not a real name?
you're part of the
I will go back and
revisionist
look at my
history.
notes.
You're the
I will
problem.
go back and look at my notes. It's quite possibly something revisionist. It's quite possibly a shift in the history of the world.
There you go, Bolt.
That's quite possibly.
I read it in a book. I didn't make it up.
Okay, so Lauren,
I just
I'm
found
mending on these sections that are patchy.
All right, you go ahead and you cast mending on them. And over the minute that it takes the spell to take effect, you can see a clarification in the stonework and in the carvings. And you see emerge another dragonborn figure holding a shield. It looks like a female dragonborn figure in the armor. It's weird though. That can't be right. The spell must have gone awry because you're pretty sure that's a red dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
That's got all the marks and the effects. That's no way.
Female red dragonborn holding the shield, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
I still think it was Colonel Mustard.
In the library with a wrench.
Apparently, though, it was Mrs. Scarlet.
Oh, good call. Good call.
That was good. That was good.
But I don't have any reference for name
No.
or anything, right?
No, you've never.
sense.
This, I mean, red dragonborns were all the chromatic dragons. They sided with Tiamat. They were the enemies.
Yeah, sure. So did the goblins and the tiefling.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, yes, if it would
This is gonna go well.
be of benefit to you personally, not today, since we're about to venture down into this crypt, but possibly tonight, if I still can, or in the days to come, I could use some of my newly learned arcane skill to find out more about this individual.
Possibly.
Teacher.
There may be answers down below.
There could be, unless they've been removed, like the mural.
Just also, I have that ability as well. So
Good.
Legend Lord?
It's an expensive
Mhm.
ability.
Oh, sweet.
Oren, do you have a question?
Uh,
Oh, that's
have
right.
we
I can't
made
do
a
tonight.
fire or anything recently? I want charcoal.
I think I actually have some.
Sweet. Give me charcoal
Oh,
and
I
give me
do.
paper. We're gonna make some like rubbings of this.
I do.
Shit.
I do have charcoal.
We're gonna
Good.
like
And
put
I
the
ha-
paper
and I have-
do like the charcoal rubbing so we can take this shit with us.
Yeah.
Good
and
call.
I've got
Because you know who
paper
needs
and
to see
charcoal.
this? The
There's
big
that 19
temple.
intelligence.
I think somehow Lauren like meta brained my brain.
Imbued actual Garrett with.
Dude, we're gonna
Somehow it pierced the veil of fantasy.
seeing him do that. I'm going to hand more points to whoever say, "This is good. We need to maintain this." I will.
Yeah, I'll help him out.
I will have need of
This
this.
belongs in a museum.
I will have need of this in Dragon Throne. This will.
Lauren,
How
While
many
they do
more
this-
times can you do that mending thing?
I want to look around and just see if I
That's right,
see like
can't
nests or anything like that where birds might be.
Okay. You had seen a couple abandoned, long abandoned, decrepit in the temple itself. You don't see anything out here. And you're listening. You don't hear any bird song. You don't hear any insects. You don't hear any real signs of animal life.
Sully, I'm gonna put all that in the bag of holding.
Yeah, in my bag. Yep.
So you have it.
Also, Lauren, I'm gonna go around and while they're rubbing, I'm just gonna do mending on all the other parts I can see, and we're gonna get
Like-
rubbings
Okay.
of all of this.
Of
Mhm.
everything.
Because I also have parchment, so we will. This is being heavily documented before we go down below.
So while they're doing that, I'm going to start going and looking at the door.
Okay.
Just to kind of get that entry area
Prepare our entrance.
checked
Okay.
out because that's too many hands rubbing charcoal stuff and I can be more effective elsewhere. Plus,
So you'll take the rubbings. Celiacs, all of those sort of
Fascinating.
sanded down spots that were destroyed, that had been carved away. It reveals this dragonborn armored figure, this female red dragonborn. And she's definitely posed as an ally to all of the others, fighting the same fights, sharing in the same glories. You still have no idea who this is. This is not any of the stories you've been
She
told.
is definitely carrying the Arbiter shield the entire time.
Hey.
Yep.
Okay. This statue of Zelasar that's outside, how big is it?
About 20 feet. It's slightly taller than the temple.
Is it like semi-scalable? Can you see?
I mean, anything is semi-scalable if you try hard enough.
Okay, but hold on, I know. So here's a couple questions. One, where's the shield position on this statue?
So you have the arm stretched out with the sword and the shield held up, braced on the arm in front and slightly to the side,
Okay, cool.
essentially.
I want to position myself in a way with my grappling hook and my rope of climbing. I want to position myself in a way, and I want to take my magical axe, and I want to chop at the joint until the shield is removed from the statue.
why?
All right. We'll go ahead and we'll have you come back to that in just a moment. Halberd, you're heading to the archway that is the entrance to this undercroft, and there's no actual door there. It's just an archway and a ramp that descends into the shadows below. You can see it is well braced, that there is stonework of the same type that the temple is built from to hold everything up. And you see carved into the entrance, right around where the first bracing is, as things really descend to underground, there are shapes carved into the walls of various semi-humanoid, but they stand out in sharp relief. They're almost hyper-realistic, of these carved figures that are stationed here in a guardian stance, almost. One on each side and then two more above them and looking down, watching the entrance, sort of keeping their eyes on any who might enter.
I'm not going to cross through it.
Okay.
But I will definitely take note of that. I don't see anything else outside of that, do I?
Not from where you're at right now. You see where the ramp descends into the undercroft. You do see part of where it levels off, where there's what looks like some sort of worked floor of stone ahead at the bottom of the ramp. But you don't get any details of what's in that room at this point.
I'm gonna head
So
on
yes,
back up.
make an athletics check for me.
Yep.
Don't be rash.
What are you doing? You're ruining
Ooh,
this.
well, that's not good. 7.
7. You're trying to get with the grappling hook and the climbing rope. You make an attack roll for me.
No, that's not really anybody. 13.
13. You've got your grappling rope and you're swinging it and you prepare to launch it and it doesn't quite go at the angle you want. You see it sailing up and not quite hitting where the arm is at, and then sailing over. You see it heading towards where Kazator is rubbing some of the parchment and charcoal. Kazator, make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
I also have the magical rope that lets me go wherever I want.
Yeah, but you didn't use that.
I said I was using both.
We're going green for dexterity. Here we go. At least I'm good at those. Oh, but that's a 3. 11.
11.
Solix, roll a d4.
This is how we
3.
lose Kazator.
3. Add your dexterity to that.
Archaeology is hard, y'all.
Okay.
Plus
4.
4 to dexterity?
No, it's a 4 after his dex.
Yeah, that's a
Oh.
plus
I
1.
was super dexterous.
I was like, what the
Wizard.
crap? You're like 400 pounds. You fat lizard.
You're sitting there and you're getting this rubbing of this scene, this battle scene of these carvings, and then your head gets slammed into the wall. Something has hit you really hard, right in the back of the shoulders. It sent your body careening forward. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and you look behind you where there's this grappling hook on the ground, and you see Celiac sort of sheepishly standing on the other
My
side
head
of the
slams. I
statue.
just, I swing around with my crossbow pulled out and just like,
Well,
what?
my bad.
What?
You see, he's not supposed to have that, and I was trying to get up there to remove that from him. And
Remove what?
the shield, that's not the Arbiter. He's not supposed to have that. So we don't want to have the. You're not supposed to. So I tried to throw, and apparently, I'm sorry. I need to. You know what? I'm gonna calm down for a minute. This is my. Here. And
I'm gonna do the same.
Lay on hands for 4 points on his head. And heal him back up.
About this point,
sorry,
Halbert is coming back upstairs.
What? Just, huh?
I just,
What happened?
Well,
Man.
here's the deal.
it's Orslad.
Zelosaur's not the Arbiter, so he's not supposed to be represented as the Arbiter. That's not, and so it's bad. It's what is,
So you punched Kasator?
So he hit me in the
I tried
head,
to throw a
yes.
grappling hook up. I would have done more damage if I punched him. I tried to throw a grappling hook, and it didn't quite go where I wanted to. Listen, I'm not having a good.
I understand.
We should
Do
go
you
down
think-
below.
Do you think it might be wise to find out the end of the story before you start chopping stuff?
To ask for help?
Or find out.
I was
Let's
about to
just
ask that part
let's
too.
go down the tunnel. It looks like there's some figurines on the side walls, almost as gods. I'd like to see your
All right.
thoughts on it. But let's remove the arms after,
Yes, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
just to make sure, because we don't know if down the road maybe he became the Arbiter after death. I don't know.
Then why would you're right? I'm just a little. I'm not.
I
happy.
just
I'm
I want
not
the
happy.
completion of the story
Alright.
before.
Before we start
I've had your
defacing
deity
the
talk with
temple.
me, and he wasn't happy.
You're right.
I don't care to go through that again,
That's right. Doran,
just in case.
I
follow up. Doran, are you good at carving stone?
should be.
Are you? I have a question. Here's my thought.
Not
Looking at
expecting
that
that.
dragonborn head, if necessary, could you reshape the head into more of a red dragonborn head? If for some reason, maybe history we could fix a little bit, do you think maybe you could do something like that?
I look at the papers of all the things we've been making, and then I look at that, and then I look back and forth. Hey. Oh yeah, I could try. I'm more practiced at metal than stone, lad.
Okay, well, it's a thought. Well, you know what? Let's head down. Let's go down. Let's find answers. I need to not be here anymore.
Okay, let's do that first.
Okay, so you said there's things watching the entrance, right?
Yeah, just kind of these figurines. And I'd kind of like your presence before we just start traipsing
No,
through.
that's fair. Lord, do I recognize what type of beings could be watching this? Do I know, like, do they look like some type of celestial type somethings, or weird guardians of something I should be aware of, or anything that I've seen before in any of the other temples?
Nothing that you've seen before in any of the other temples.
Okay.
They're it's odd because as you approach, you can see what Halbert had been talking about with these carved guardians, and it's really odd because it's not so much like they're carved out of the rock as though they were almost inset into it. Like they were like when you like they were complete and they were individual, and then they were set into the rock themselves to sort of provide this guardian to it.
How big are they?
Oh, they're fairly large. They're human sized, if not larger.
So a little bit taller than me?
Yeah, just about.
Okay.
As you approach, you see this luminescence that your shield has maintained. It's hard to see in the daylight. But it as you approach, you can see it's reflected into the eyes of these creatures, where you see that they had not actually had carved stone for eyes, but they had a crystal or glass or something reflective that had been placed there instead.
They're made out of stone?
They're made out of stone.
Okay.
But you see this light reflecting off their eyes, and it seems like their eyes start to take on this own luminescence. And as you approach, the stone shifts and moves, and you see these four guardians shift from an offensive, wary position into a more passive, more respectful, almost as though they were inclining their heads and bowing, welcoming you in.
Because
Okay. Well, I guess I'll walk, and then I'll have Halbert right next to me to keep an eye out for things that might try to kill us as we move forward. And is it dark? Like, is there like any like lights going down at all? Do I see any weird glowing lights, or do I need to?
You see a very soft luminescence from your shield. You have the daylight coming in from behind you. So there's passage, this ramp that heads down is fairly dimly lit, but there's no source of light coming from in front of you.
I will cast light on my shield and start walking down into the whatever's below.
All right. As y'all still go ahead, you pass the guardians, you head into the undercroft. We're going to go ahead and take a break.
Okay.
All right.
Time.
And we are live.
Blast
Oh God,
off.
we're all dying. Oh God, we're dying.
Also sound.
Also sound. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being patient and for coming back to join us. All right, we are going to go ahead and jump right back into this. So, y'all are descending down this fairly wide, fairly tall, fairly open ramp down into the undercroft beneath this temple. The light is only coming in from behind you. You don't have any sources of light up ahead. Silyex, your shield still has a soft luminescence. It's providing only a very soft glow. Did you cast light on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and
Just
keep
to
up with
help
that.
out, because I can do this now.
Hooded lantern.
Actually, I'm going to pull out the moon scimitar thingy, and I'm going to cast light on the blade.
Oh, you finally took light.
Shut up.
The person afraid of the dark finally learned the light cantrip.
Why are you pulling at your
Alright.
You have to cast it on something.
chest.
Because I can hold it up and.
I touched Halbert's chest and cast light.
Halberd, you glow. Your stealth is gone.
He's
You
pregnant.
I
are,
wasn't
you are a
stealthing.
bright beacon.
Well, just cover it with the book.
For the first time, we all
Hang on,
see
the
him
knife.
clearly.
Visitor touched me.
Nighttime.
Oh,
Nighttime.
Go us on the character sheet. Where did he touch you?
There's a whole new meaning to the term flashing someone.
I can't
Oh,
claim
wow.
that joke. That's not mine. I stole that. That's not a. Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway, you were saying, Lauren.
I was gonna
Came
make
up with
Okay,
my-
so y'all descend down this ramp about 60 feet or so until you get to this open room. And it's about 30 feet wide, about 40 feet deep, and there are two hallways leading off of this room to the left and to the right. You see a dais sort of raised in the center of the room with a small set of steps, 2 steps leading up to it. So it's about 5 feet up, going up the steps, and it'd be about waist height for y'all. What do y'all do?
So it'd
Gonna
be over
look
my
at-
head.
Val. Say, all right, Tana. We don't go opposite directions here. Don't make Val go some other place. We keep the party together.
It happened to your father. He almost died.
It's
before
okay.
So, stay with us. This dais, anything on it, anything about it, anything I recognize, anything?
You go ahead and you approach it.
So confused.
You
No.
see
Yes,
there's
you're
a small, almost like a shallow bowl, and there is a handprint, sort of circular. And as you look at it, the impression of a large hand is set into it.
Large humanoid, large draconic, large what type of hand?
As you look at it, you see a dragonborn shaped, the 4 fingers.
That.
Yeah.
And large as in like my size or bigger?
Bigger.
How much bigger?
That's concerning.
Probably if you were to set your hand on it, probably about an inch bigger around.
Chunky monkey.
Well, Howard, would you like to observe for anything that might kill me if I put my hand in here?
Is there anything that might kill my friend?
Make a perception check.
23.
You don't see anything inherently harmful.
Inherently harmful.
I mean, you could totally pick the bull up and whack someone over the head with it if you wanted.
And there's nothing else around it either.
No, it does not appear to be trapped.
Okay. I will take my hand and put it on the print.
All right. You put your hand down on the print. The print itself starts to shrink and form to the shape of your hand. It stops about 1/4 inch border around the shape of your hand. There's a slight depression. You can feel where you can almost press into it as you put your hand down, but you don't see anything. Nothing happens. It's like it's not quite complete and has stopped at some point.
Does it
Reregister
move?
the
Does it push? Does it do
Sully.
anything?
It's a very slight. You can almost push down, but not quite. It gives just a little bit, but not a lot.
Do I see anything
Mistake.
else that might register this? Like,
You lift your hand away, and the hand grows back larger again. One thing to note, Halberd, you look at it and you see a normal 5-fingered shape. Like, you can see Celiax putting his hand down and pressing into it, and it makes sense, but you could also see your hand would also fit to it.
I'm gonna ask Sully to put his hand back on it, and then I'm gonna put my hand over his and see if that does anything.
Okay, you go ahead. Celiax, you get the same thing, where
Mhm.
the hand shape shrinks down. There's still this 1/4 inch border around it. Halberd, you put your hand on top of it, and you can see where it has formed to Celiax's hand. You put your hand on top, and nothing seems to change.
Is the dais the only thing in this room?
So I'm just not-
Make a perception check.
I'd like to look around too.
So did we split
Okay.
left or right?
No, move. This
Oh.
is at the juncture.
Oh,
Oh,
and I'm going to put my hand in it by myself.
When 23.
Okay. 23.
I don't find anything.
Okay.
Right.
Casator, you're looking around, and directly opposite the entranceway that y'all came in on, there is a carving in the wall, and it's weird because it looks like it would be a door, but it is flush, it is flat. You can see where the carving is very detailed, very, very pretty. It's very nice, but it's not actually a door. That's weird. Halberd, you put your hand down into it. You put your hand down, you press down, you see the same thing. It has formed, and this time not to the 4-finger shape, but to the 5-finger shape. There's still about a 1/4-inch border around each of the fingers. You feel where you can give a slight bit of pressure, and it's almost like you should be able to press further, but you can't.
This door portion is the only part that's carved in the wall.
In the walls, yes. One of the things you're noticing, Halberd, as you're looking closer at the top, as you press down into it, there's a slight, almost shift in the dust that has layered the top of this dais. You want to go ahead and reveal that and brush that off and see what that is?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. There is a very fine carving of a creature, and it's one that you've seen before. You look and you see a basilisk head, sort of carved into and stylized around. You see one at each of the 4 corners of this raised dais, where it has been carved in and set into this as a decoration.
That's the thing that we passed in the tunnel, right?
No.
We fought
you fought
basilisk
some in the Sanctum.
The Sanctum.
In
They
the
tried to
training
turn
room.
us to stone. You can't look at them when you fight them. Okay.
I'm gonna look away and put my hand in it.
It's the same thing. You feel how it shifts and how it moves, but
Yeah. So we're looking
it doesn't
at. I mean,
it doesn't do.
the dais is here, right? And then we have a tunnel going left and a tunnel going right, and we sort of came from here.
You have the dais here. You have a tunnel going left and a tunnel going right.
And where did we come from?
Behind.
Okay.
And the carving is up here.
So it's a T, not so much of a Y.
Yes.
Do we see? So if it's looking either direction, we don't see anything either direction, do we?
It's actually only a very short hallway. You can see where there are rooms that open up on either side.
Split party.
Well, this doesn't seem to be working. Do we want to go?
Left first and then right.
All right. So we'll go left.
I go right.
Okay,
grab him by
Brandon,
the shirt collar and pull.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
had to jump to reach, but
I begrudgingly follow.
Okay. So
Grab the
y'all
bottom
head to the
belt,
left, and it's a fairly small room over on the left side, about 15 by 15 feet, and you see there are more murals that have been carved into the walls here. But these are massive. They're expansive. They're very finely detailed.
so it wouldn't be worth time to try and do charcoal rubbings with these, yeah? We don't have big enough paper?
I mean, how much paper do you want to use?
Never mind then.
I've got 50 sheets.
well, looking through it at it, what is it depicting? More stories of this red dragonborn?
This one in particular has her in the background. The primary character here seems to be this elven archer, Balar, you remember from the stories. And it's interesting because you see there's a story that's being told here of Balar, and they're fighting this green dragon, this very large, very, if not ancient, then at least adult, fully grown, vicious, and there are these armies and this battle that's taking place, and you see over the course of the stories that these murals tell, where Balar is striking down and imprisoning, it looks like, in some way, this green dragon. The mural opposite behind you, you look and you can see the sort of other half of the story where Balar is an aged figure now, and there's a beautiful temple scene set deep in a forest. And Halberd, it's interesting to you because there are elements of the forest and how the trees grow that have this hint of other that reminds you a little bit of your home in the Mirthwood and how you grew up, and how there was an element of a Fey heritage that you lived close to, and that same sort of element of otherness seems inherent in this forest also.
Is there another crazy bowl in this room?
There is not. The murals are the only thing that are in this room. You do see the others. You do see this female tiefling fighter, this Fiera. You see Dantris and Koa. You do see where there's been some effort made to remove this red dragonborn figure, but not nearly as successfully as on the outside. Enough to obscure some of the details. And you do see some of Zelisar, who's this other dragonborn figure. But the primary figure in this mural seems to be Balar.
While we're standing here, I will cast a mage hand and have it place itself down on the print in the dais.
Okay. You go ahead, you cast Mage Hand. Is Mage Hand just an arcane reproduction of your own hand? Do I remember that?
Well, it says you can use your hand to control the hand, but it does say it is a spectral. It says a spectral floating hand appears.
Okay. So you go and you put Mage Hand and you try and get it down onto the dais, and you set it down on there, and you can feel the same thing, but the dais doesn't react to it at all. There's none of this shrinking to almost match. That effect doesn't happen.
Wait a moment, and I'll go back and walk and place my hand down.
You see the same phenomenon happen where you put your hand down. It forms almost to the shape of your hand. It's just slightly too large.
Anything change in that room?
Was there anything?
Nothing changed. You didn't see anything.
Okay, so Lord, looking at it correlating, so we have a circular dais, right?
Rectangular.
Rectangular. Okay. Where is the handprint? On it?
Center.
Right in
Top
center.
center. Yeah.
And then on each of the corners is a drawing of a basilisk.
Yes.
Which way are the basilisks facing?
They're facing in towards the center of the hand.
In the room with all the murals, is that just dead end into that room? Or
No, there is actually another hallway leading off farther to the west, continuing down that left-hand passage.
So, like, we started here, we went left, we can continue to go left?
You can continue to go left.
Right,
I will look into that room.
yeah, we'll keep
You
pushing
see
down the hall.
okay, you look into the room. You see an empty room. There is a sandy floor. You see up and across. So as you're looking into the room, on the opposite wall and to the right a little bit, another hallway that leads out.
And what's in this room? Any?
It is an empty room. Just
No-
empty
no
room, sand on
murals?
the floor.
Murals,
No murals, no carvings, no light.
Okay, and what's
It
the
just leads
roof
further.
situation in here?
Fairly low, 10 to 12 feet.
Okay. Then it just keep
Pretty high
going.
for me.
Does it go outside, or when you said out, which way is out? Like into another hallway, another room, or like out of the temple entirely?
No, out to, there's a hallway that goes to another room.
So we've just been moving in a straight line to the left this whole time, right?
You have been.
Okay.
If you wanted to keep going, the hallway going farther is not directly across. It is opposite wall and to the right as you look into the room.
Keep going.
Did I see anything in the murals like
Draw this
a
out.
story of something being told, like something that was taking place within those, a common theme or thread. Him fighting a dragon and going to the woods. Are there things within the murals that I would see if I were there that I'm not able to see because I'm not there in person? Like, would Howard see things that I'm not seeing?
Okay. Make a perception check.
30.
30. Wow.
Mhm.
Impressive. So Halberd looks closely and he sees the story, and as an elf he can sort of imagine it, especially with his history with dragons. So you look and you see the battle, and you can almost close your eyes and place yourself there, and you get the sense of this story that's being told of this struggle against this dragon and the fight to cast it down and to imprison it. And you look at it, and the scene in particular where it is being imprisoned, you look at the prison that has been designed to hold it, and there's no way that this prison is large enough for a dragon. This is a place where you would keep a person. This is a place where you'd keep a humanoid. You look and see throughout the rest of this, especially in the later images, as Balar is older, and you know that significant time has passed.
That makes sense.
So far, yes, bravo, Doran.
Best.
Where you get the sense that this temple, where Balar is in this forest, is probably where he is laid to rest. The location, very likely, of his tomb.
So not
no dope elven stuff.
So not here. He would be in a forest somewhere.
That's sort of the sense you get.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Well, let's keep moving then. So yeah, we'll keep moving down this next hallway.
Okay. You head down the hallway. There's this next room is a fairly large sandy room, about 30 feet wide, about 50 or 60 feet long. There's a very small shape that sort of protrudes from the sand of the floor, like right somewhere in the middle.
Shaped like what?
It's hard to make out. It's small. It seems to catch the light. So it might be something metallic, might be something crystalline. It's hard to see.
To investigate
That's
it
the next room this
carefully.
way?
Yeah.
To the left?
Yes. Yep. You investigate it. Halberd, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Celiax present.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you do the poking.
All right.
I picture like the Adventures in Lost
That's the
Sea.
landmine.
So y'all are both heading towards this shape in the middle, right?
Yeah.
I need both of you to make dexterity saving throws, please.
These are nice to read.
How much is that?
You get +4.
We'll set the landmine off.
That's 8 for me.
21.
Okay. Halberd, you start stepping out, and Solyax is right next to you, and you feel, with your elven sure-footedness, you feel the sand start to shift and to give way, and you pull yourself back. Solyax is just a little too slow. Solyax, you feel your foot set solidly down, and it gives under you, and you start sliding. You're being drawn. The sand is giving way towards, pulling you almost towards this shape in the middle of the floor. And you see where the sand once was flat is now starting to cave in and go down, and you're being pulled towards the center.
Do I have
What are you doing?
have an action
Rope?
or anything I can do?
You have an action.
Okay, rope of climbing, commanding it to Astron to Halberd.
I will help Halberd not fall down.
Grab me, Doran.
Okay. So the rope of climbing latches onto Halberd. You toss it over to him.
Latches securely.
It does latch
Around
securely.
me, not in me.
You have to use a spear to make
So
that happen.
you send it, and it's almost snake-like how it goes and slithers up his arm from where he had reached out to try to grab you, and it grabs, sort of twirling around his arm and around his waist and chest. And Halbert, I need you to make a strength saving throw, please. You can make it with advantage since Doran is helping to anchor you.
We should have known if we were going to come into Wan Shi Tong's library, they were going to sink it.
Is he still within 10 feet of me, Lauren?
He's still within 10 feet. You're about 5 feet out right now.
17. That was good.
17.
That was very good.
Halbert, you feel Doran and you feel him try to anchor you, and you feel your feet start to slide, start to pull, and you are also being so tightly latched to Celiax, slowly being drawn in towards the center of this.
Does there look like there's a lever or anything nearby that would make things go back to normal? Lever.
Make a perception check.
I want to draw out my axe and see if I can wedge it in something in the floor and hold us.
All right, Val, what was your perception?
Natural 20 for 29.
Nice. Okay. You do not see any levers. You don't see anything mechanical. What you do see is you look into this room and you can see it's cylindrical or cone-shaped, where there's an area of sand and earth on the outside that seems unmoved and still, and then a very thin walkway almost, and then the center of the room itself is being drawn down in. And as you're looking and you're investigating, you're trying to find something that you can use to help. You see there's this gaping mouth of teeth that seems to open up and be prepared to receive the bounty that has been drawn into its nest.
We found a Sarlacc.
That comes Sarlacc.
Celiax, Halberd, Doran,
Digested.
what are y'all doing?
Did you hear what?
I said I was trying to wedge my axe into something in the floor
Okay.
while I've got a hold of Hal.
You are only just barely in reach of anything stone or solid. Go ahead and make make an attack roll. Attack the floor with your axe to try and sink it in deep enough.
Okay, I'm pretty good at that, but we'll see.
Spider's good at attacking? I suppose so.
Modified 20. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Modified 21, actually. Excuse me.
21. Okay.
I'm good at math, I swear.
That is okay. So Doran, you do feel where you sink your axe down, you bite deep into the earth, split the stone. You can feel where your axe is anchored in. Your other hand is stretched out. You're torn, holding to Halberd. It does.
This is awful.
Help me!
Halberd and Celiax, what are you two doing?
Oh, I'm going to Banff Nightbane out where it's solid and have him pull.
In case that's important, that's 9 slashing and 4 lightning.
Okay. All right. So onto the sand, onto the earth, onto the stone pathway. Where are you putting Nightbane?
Solid.
Where it's solid, beside Dorn, like in past Dorn, where it's not slipping in.
Okay.
I'll have May hand lift up so that reduces the weight by 10
And
pounds.
I'm going to tell him to hold on.
Me big beast.
Rescue.
All right. So you can go ahead. You are so it's essentially this chain of figures now, where Dorn is just on the edge of it. Halberd's about 5 feet in, and Celiax is about 10 feet from the border. So if Nightbane is standing on the edge, Celiax is just outside of his range. But Nightbane can grab Halberd, Nightbane can grab Doran, and Nightbane can make a
That's the thing.
Nightbane can make an athletics check to assist to try and pull.
Yep.
Please. He's very strong.
Go ahead and roll that for him.
Athletics.
Okay, so it's out and in is 1. I've got 3 uses, right? And we said out and in is 1.
Right.
I'm going to Banff Nightbane out and Banff Celiax in and pull.
Okay. Go ahead and
And his roll, Nightbane's roll, is a 19th strength check.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal.
Good boy.
So Nightbane goes out, and in the time it takes you to give him the instruction and for him to start reacting, you take that brief moment to take a breath, to prepare. Okay, he's out. You can bring Silyax now back in. Nightbane manages to wrap his pseudopods around you and around Doran and pull you to safety out of the way of the mouth of this creature. You can see after a few moments of stillness and silence where there is no more of this sand being drawn in, there's little puffs of sand that are starting to be spitted back out to start filling in around the cone that this thing uses to draw its prey to itself.
Is there on the
Right?
other side? Is
Do
there
it.
another hallway that continues?
There is
past
another
it?
hallway. You can go ahead. You can
It's
see
over
for
there.
now before it fills
It's
back
this room,
in.
right?
Mhm.
Essentially,
I feel like I'm
Uh,
playing Neverwinter, where each time you enter a room, you get to see more of the map.
Right?
You only get to see what you've been in so far.
essentially. So you can see around where there's a thin path where this creature's nest cannot pull all of the sand towards itself. There's a thin path around the room that can get you to the other side, but you're going to have to be careful, and you're going to have to walk carefully, dexterously, one might even say, in order to avoid being drawn back into it.
Can you put me over there?
How wide is this cone deal?
About 25 feet
Yeah,
from all the way across.
I'm
I
gonna.
mean, I'm standing. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if I made it over there yet or not.
I'm gonna look at
So I
Val.
went that way, but I don't know how far I made it by the time they get all this settled.
Val, what were you doing?
When you told me that there was the path, I went that way, but I don't know how long it's been, how far I made it.
Go ahead and make a dexterity check for me if you're trying to walk the path around to the other side of the room.
Okay.
And this is another path further to the left.
18.
We're still in the same
This
room.
is also heading west, but it's not directly across. It's sort of up and over.
18.
18. All right, you do manage to keep your balance. You have a brief moment of uncertainty right at the narrowest part of the path where the sand starts trickling away under your foot, but you do manage to successfully make it through and are not drawn into this creature's nest. You head north along the wall, the western wall of this room, to get to this other hallway that you can see leads farther west.
There's a path there. Follow that path. Follow my footprints.
Is it when you look in the other room as it goes further west? Is there something beyond it, or does that come to the end of that? Can you tell?
Can I tell?
Do you have a light source?
I have my sword.
Okay,
Okay.
then yes, you can go ahead and you look in. You do see there is a another door to the north, the northern side of this room. It does appear to have some shape moving and sliding around between you and the door.
I relay all that to you guys.
Do we want to go try the other direction first?
I'm still in a turn.
I know.
Well, I'm feeling like we've made it this far.
Yeah.
We might as well just keep going.
There you go.
You
I
don't put traps and things to guard something that's not worth guarding.
I don't know if this is a trap or if this is something that's burrowed in, though.
What I got so
Well,
I'm gonna-
based on the
on.
path, would I
Let
be
me-
able to tell if it's
Let me bring the important person into this conversation. Catch him if you would, and I'm gonna drop Elliot on the other side of the pit,
I'm not strong.
and I'm gonna put him right beside him, just in case something were to slip. I know he's solid, so he can grab him, just in case.
Okay. Like right on the other side of the pit, or like you can get him.
Well, it's 25
Five.
feet across, you said. So
Right.
I can only.
So
I
you're
figured
on
I
one
could
side,
only,
so you can get him 3 or 4 or 5 feet away from the edge.
yeah, but I still don't trust it. So I told him to
Okay.
walk. I don't trust you. Don't you know that? I don't trust much, and you least of all. So
That's the most honest thing I've ever heard him say.
Right.
Well, do we want to keep going across? I mean,
I don't want to get too far out of the way, is my concern. I'm yelling this.
I do feel like we are actually. I want to make sure we explore what we can, and
I agree.
I'm not sure this way is done yet, and I would like to keep going.
I agree. I just didn't know if there might be something to figure out in the other direction. But
I'm sure there is, but I'm not
move-
sure we've figured out everything in this direction yet.
we can move this way and keep on going. Does it? It looks like it continues on quite a way on that side. I don't know if I should tell
Yeah,
Night Bane to
this-
stay in guard here or just bring him with, because I don't think he'll cross that ledge super easy.
No, but
I would just have him stay there, and if nothing else, he would serve as a solid anchor for us to help get back across this.
I'm gonna tell Night Bane to get on the other side of that tunnel and guard. And
Stay
tell him
stay
to-
on the stone. Stay on work stone.
Yeah. Tell him to be very, very careful and don't go chasing monsters.
Because the other room also had sand in it, so just stay on work stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will use my
I know, I just don't have any uses of it.
rope and
I'm
use
gonna
that
do
to
that.
help get everybody safely across.
Him going
Okay.
out is one, so the next thing I could do is bring Night Bane in. I'll just bring Night Bane in because I don't want to leave him. I like my little buddy. He's bigger than me. And
All right,
I'll work-
so with Silyax using the rope to help everybody across, everybody else can go ahead and cross on the path, making dexterity saving throws at advantage with the help of the rope.
Dexterity check or saving throw?
Saving throw.
Oh, why did I have to roll that now?
Natural 20.
Double
Natural 20.
19s.
So two natural 20s and a 19 natural.
Yeah. Following in Val's
28.
footprints with the help of the rope, you easily all manage to make your way across without disturbing whatever creature has its nest here in this room.
Oh, question.
Sarlacc.
Yes.
We know it's Sarlacc.
Based on the ruins of the building and everything else, does that look like it was natural to this area, like intentionally put there? Or was that a creature? Does it look like who burrowed in and just took advantage of the place?
Make an investigation check.
Distracted pretty good. So that was about a 11.
Okay. That's
11.
actually enough because you can look and see. I mean, the sand is level with the floor that you've been walking on. It seems like the where the creature is was prepared for, if not that creature in particular, for something like it. This environment is very friendly to it. It doesn't look like it has taken over it. It was probably designed for something like that.
All right. Well,
Seems like a weird place for. That just when you go to temples in video games or whatever, and there's like that weird random monster like that. It's like, why would you nest there? You're not getting a lot of food. Not that many people come here. What you doing? Nature, you crazy.
what's the next room? You said there's a door, but there's something. Is there something moving on the floor? What's it look like made out of things going on?
As the light comes in and you enter this room, you can see there is actually a large serpentine-like figure that is coiled around itself. You see it has assumed a defensive stance. There is a door just behind it, and it is an elaborately carved door, and there is a fairly good-sized keyhole that is set into the stone. You see this creature with a serpentine body with a humanoid face looks at you.
Can I smile and wave at it?
And you can
Does-
certainly, yeah, if you
Does
want.
it react to me? Like if I were to step forward, not necessarily going into the room, but like step into its line of sight, does it react in any way towards me?
I'm going to point at him.
You can see its eyes sort of latch onto you. It still seems to be waiting.
Do I recognize this thing?
Make a religion check.
Can I get in on that?
Sure, go for it.
19.
Religion. 22.
Okay, y'all both recognize this as a Naga, a guardian Naga in particular, who they are renowned for their abilities for their longevity and for their devotion to guarding the place that they are set to guard. That there is a particular intelligence to them, that they are capable of reasoning and thought and speech, but once they have accepted a task, they will complete that to the best of their ability.
I like this
Do
character.
they, would I know what languages they speak?
You would know, yeah, you'd probably know that they speak both Common and Celestial.
I would like
Given
to,
that this is a temple of Bahamut, you can guess they might also speak Draconic, but you're not sure about that.
in Draconic, I would like to speak to it first and just say, good day to you, O guardian of these halls, and see if it responds.
It focuses on you and says, "A pleasant day to you as well."
Is that in Draconic or Common?
In Draconic.
Perfect. Do you happen to recognize me or the thing in which I carry?
I see you carry Asha's shield.
Asha?
Write that one down.
The name is Asha?
Asha.
Asha. Okay, hold on.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
So
Asha.
How does one spell this name?
Just like it sounds.
oh, so it's OSHA. She's where all the rules came from. Sorry.
What is it? ASHA?
Oh, AS? See, I went O. Just
Oh,
like
no.
it sounds, unless you don't think it sounds the same.
Well, Asha's shield, yes. She was the Arbiter at one point, a long time ago, yes?
Yes. Some centuries passed as your time counted.
Yes. I'm the appointed Arbiter now, and I'm seeking to learn more about those who came before me, the history of the other Arbiters. And I happen upon this temple. You are tasked with a purpose, yes?
Yes.
What might that be?
I guard the way. Those who would pass must prove their worth.
So what
How
you're
much-
saying, this is
how
the
m-
way. That was a Garrett joke, not a Dorian
In
joke.
what way would a person prove their worth?
That is up to them.
Let's
Do
play.
you wish to prove yourself? I
Yes.
tell already you have not the means to pass the way yet.
Oh dear. For those of us who don't speak whatever you're speaking, what the hell is going on?
Well, this shield used to belong to Asha.
What's an offset?
Asha would be the former wielder of this shield 600 years ago.
Oh,
Our red friend.
the red one.
Yes.
Okay.
And she guards the way, and she will move for that who is worthy. Apparently, we are not yet that.
How long ago has he had visitors here?
I have not judged your worth, but you have not the key.
Yes. When was the last person who came through here for you to judge? Do you know in the way that we track time when that was?
More than a century? Less than 3? The years blur together. Time does not mean the same to me as it does to your kind.
Quarantining champion.
I imagine. You
And
say
the year
that I do
before,
not
and
possess
the
the
year
key
before.
to continue on. To
Does he possess the key?
get past you. To be worthy.
What does it mean?
I speak not of your worth, but I do not smell my sister, and you do not have her key.
I think we went the wrong direction first, guys.
Well, I suppose we will be back
The
then.
right direction this time. We
So-
should have known.
It was my
Go
fault
right
because I said
first.
left. Should have taken that left-hand coin in Albuquerque.
Feel like this is more discrimination against the left-handed, but sure.
Actually, no, Lauren would favor right.
If one was to prove themselves worthy, they would still need this key.
Yes.
We will be back then with this key. And perhaps at that time, you will be able to judge our work and see if it is, well, to see if we're worthy.
Do you know the name of the sister?
Do you have any information that might aid us in finding your sister?
Take the other way, the other path. Make the other choice.
Very well.
She awaits you. Bring the key, and I will judge your worth.
Super don't want to get eaten.
Right.
Thank you, Great Guardian. We will return. And with that, we will back out of the chamber and work our way back to where we started from.
And I'll smile and wave.
Smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile.
She maintains a fairly stoic face as y'all are passing back through the creature's nest. Make another dexterity saving throw.
Oh God!
Can he put his grappling hook rope across?
Can I
Sully, could you
send
possibly?
the rope across and have it latch onto something to give us more of an anchor?
What do you want it to latch onto?
I wanted to latch onto the grappling hook and then send the grappling hook across and hook. So essentially there's two ropes going across because the one rope is securely attached to the grappling hook, which is then being hooked into the stone.
Okay. Go ahead and make a throw with the grappling hook.
Well, I want to guide it across with the rope.
Okay. Gotcha. So it'll take some time as the rope sort of drags the grappling hook along and catches, we'll say it catches onto the crack that Doran left with his axe earlier. And
Nice.
it'll dig down into that same spot. So as y'all are heading across, go ahead and make your dexterity throws or your dexterity saving. Yeah, your dexterity saving throws with advantage.
Ooh. Oh, thank you for that advantage.
Who's okay? I'm gonna say Casator and Doran are next to me because they haven't rolled yet, so they both get +4.
Okay.
+4. Hey, that's pretty nice.
I needed it this time.
Well, that means I got a 24.
I'm not dexterous.
Doran's good.
Okay, 19.
13.
Casator's good.
I rolled a 3 and a 7.
I rolled a 2 and an 8, and I got 13.
13. Solyex, you are most of the way across and you feel your foot start to slip out from under you. The sand starts to pull you back towards the middle of this creature's mouth. What are you doing?
Well, I have the rope attached securely. I'm just going to start pulling my way out.
I'm pulling
All right.
the other end.
Heave-hoing my way.
Make a strength saving throw.
I'm pulling the other end. I'm trying to reel him in.
19.
All right. That is a success. You do manage to haul yourself over the shifting sand as it's trying to draw you in. Your musculature and your stature aid you in this, and you can pull yourself free as you are able to draw yourself away from this creature.
How big is the sand area for future reference, maybe?
About 25 feet across, circularly. The
Okay.
room itself is 40 or so feet long, I believe.
Okay. Thank you.
Whoops.
Val?
So I rolled a natural 1, but you gave me advantage, so
Right, because of the rope.
Yeah, 17 plus 4. So 21.
Okay, yeah, you do manage to make it across. You saw where Solyax had misstepped, and you managed to avoid that area. You are successful. Halberd?
15.
15. There's a brief moment right at the narrowest part of the path where you feel your foot start to slide, but you recover your balance and you manage to make your way across safely.
Yay.
This is probably the best 1,000 gold I've ever spent.
Right.
Was on this rope.
Mm-hmm. Let's start
So
working our
y'all-
way back, boys.
Best
Yep.
1,000.
Y'all head
so
on back.
far.
You reach the work stone. You pass through the room with the murals. You are back in the room with the dais, with a hand-shaped sort of platter in the middle.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
So we've been looking at the dais from one point of view. From the other points of view, like say from one of the corners, does the hand turn or is it always facing the same way?
It is always facing the same way.
Okay.
And we each see a different hand, right?
If y'all each try it, you see it each forms almost to the shape of your hand, but not quite. There is a sort of a border where it doesn't quite fit, about a 1/4 inch around your hand.
Put your hand down and cast
we
enlarge.
Voltron.
Cheat the system.
We will.
You
Do
smashed
I
the
waste
dais.
one of my 2 giantness?
We'll continue moving to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. You pass out of this room and you find another room, fairly small, with another set of murals. This one features Fiera, the female dragonborn, the female tiefling. And you can see elements of color that have been included here. There is a slight sort of bluish, purplish cast to the stonework that is used to portray her. You see the foe and the battle, the struggle that Fiera seems to overtake is a large infernal encampment presided over by a large black dragon. And this catches your eye in particular because Kazator, Val, it can't be. There's no way. But you've seen that shape, that figure, that dragon head, no way. That can't be. But you're pretty sure it is the same dragon that the sorceress was transforming into back in the
And
tower
this
where
is-
you rescued Laren.
This is a statue or on the mural?
This is on the mural. This
On the
this
mural,
is
okay.
carved and painted onto
In one of the
mural
battle
here.
scenes.
Several of the struggles, this infernal encampment that the Fiera and these others in this party are overcoming. You see they eventually emerge triumphant. This dragon figure is scared off into flight. She flees from this encounter. You see where there are a number of scenes of Fiera aging and growing older and wounded in whatever encounter she has managed to survive. And through the rest of these scenes where she's older, they all take place in this mountain range. You get a sense of the heights and this small sort of enclave. And beyond the mountains, you see the sea. You see the ships sailing, and you're pretty sure that this is somewhere east. You get a sense of the rising sun that is coming in over, illuminating this scene. You get the sense that there's where you can find mountains with the sea or an ocean to the east of it. That's probably somewhere through there you'll find her tomb.
Kisador.
Just giving us more side quests.
I know, right? I'm telling you, we need to change our stream name to the side quests. Kisador.
That actually wouldn't be a bad name. For
Call me crazy, but are you seeing
Crazy.
what I'm saying here?
If you're referring to the Ebonwrath, I believe so.
Dragon Boys.
Question. Is
Yes.
this a revelation moment, or were we already told about this interaction?
What we said,
And
we
I
were.
told you that we caught a glimpse of her as we were leaving.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Is like, is this something that's like,
Yeah. No, we. Yeah.
oh, or was this like,
Busted!
okay.
They said, I mean, they saw her flying around while they were running through the woods, escaping her.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he said that we saw her right before we bamped out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They
Good deal.
didn't say where they bamped out.
No, you're good. You're good.
No.
I was just wondering about that. See if I missed something.
Yeah. No, that wasn't a drop.
Dragon Boys.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how long do dragons live typically?
Very long. Much longer than.
It's very reasonable that the shattering happened around 600 years ago, which is a perfectly reasonable amount of time that a single dragon alive then would be very old now.
So,
Like
all right,
ancient.
here's what I'm thinking. Because in the journals that we found in the tower, it mentioned 3 names. We had, and we've heard of the Alabaster Ruin, the Ebonwrath, and then there was a 3rd name. Crap.
Crimson Carnage.
No.
No.
Kalaren or-
Kalaran.
yeah, I was like,
She wasn't
I don't
referred
know
to
if
by
I
a title. She was referred to as Kalaran.
Yeah.
Crimson.
Crimson Carnage, Kalaren and the Crimson Carnage. I'm pretty sure that was somewhere.
You're just hoping. You're just hoping.
I am now.
There was a 3rd dragon, or a 3rd one named Kalaren, and they were mentioned that they were siblings. Is it possible that these could be the same dragons from the Shattering?
It's possible that they're not only the same dragons, but that if they're all siblings, these could have been the Tiamat was banished during the shattering. It's quite possible these could be the actual descendants of Tiamat, and they are the siblings of the 5, the founders of the Chromatics themselves.
So, all right. Maybe this is just my ignorance. Where I'm from, dragons don't normally change into people. But we've seen the Black One have that ability, and her offspring have that ability. Is it possible that all of them can have that ability?
Well, it's known that Bahamut granted to the Metallics who live long enough, he granted a power to them to be able to change their forms into a more human base, much like he does. He gave that power to the Metallics. I had never heard of such an ability being granted to any true chromatic dragons, but that's, I mean, if Bahamut could do it for his Metallics, there's nothing to say that Tiamat couldn't do it for at least her direct descendants, if not other powerful ancient chromatics and old chromatics.
I know.
It's believable.
For my part, there is a mystery to some ways of dragons, because I've searched centuries to find out just some of the powers that laid waste to my people, and I'm still at a loss at times knowing, because there was a deep magic that came with those dragons, one that is not common in the chromatics of this area, though it is believed, or at least I have reason to believe, that the chromatics served some of these dragons in some way, and they used the chromatics to do their bidding. So it's very possible there is a deep magic, dark magic, that could allow changing perhaps, but for me to say that I understand all the intricacies of those from my experience, and Lauren, you can jump in and back check me on this. I've spent 2.5 centuries trying to find this out. And the research is very small, though I've gone to great lengths to find it. So is it possible? Yes. But if that's the case, it is something very dark and very hidden, which has not seen the light in a very long time, in my experience.
Dragons are very powerful, and they can live for a long time. And if it's anything, the longer one lives, the more knowledge and power a creature can gain.
Yeah.
If you live for almost a millennia, do you not think that you would learn far more than you
Oh,
know
I can
now?
imagine, but see, where I'm from, the dragons have already moved off our continent to another. All we're left with is what they left of their hordes and their lairs. So it's almost like an archaeological dig to discover anything about them. Occasionally you hear stories, but who knows if those are true or not. So we have the black. Lauren, correct me if I'm saying this wrong. Dracinia?
That's correct.
Okay. So based on the journals, the Ebonrath, the black sorceress, was called Dracinia.
Was she called that? Or was
Oh, I
her
thought it
daughter?
was Jasmina.
The daughter was Drasmina.
The daughter's Justina, and she's called Jacinia.
Dracinia, yes.
And then we have
And then we
Reuven,
have
the
Reuven,
Alabaster Ruin.
the Alabaster, which I'm starting to wonder if I had assumed that he was a half dragon, but I'm starting to wonder if maybe that's just
I'm beginning to think he's
an ancient white that just happens to have.
he's another one of the siblings, given his prominence and how we have to have. When you have a name of what was it, what's the black one's name?
Dracinia.
When you have a name of the Ebonrath,
Yeah.
Alabaster Ruin seems right on par with that as
That
well.
makes sense. Lauren's got the best poker face going right now. This one, Kalaran, there wasn't.
That's a clarinet.
That was bad. There was not much. There was not much information on him, her. Lauren, did I get a sense of a him, her?
Her.
It referred to as she, yeah. In the
Okay,
sorry.
so her. So this, what little I know of dragons, though, I can't imagine a green dragon being cooperative enough, or a red dragon being collaborative, but this is beyond my realm. I'm wondering if maybe we found one of the other colors here.
It's quite possible we have just come across, we believe perhaps we have access or knowledge of a black and a white. We have drawings of a green and a name. So those could be this one and the same, or we could have now information on 4 of the possible 5.
And if this green one was captured and locked up, is it possible that it is still captured and locked up even after all these years?
Lauren, do I have any recollection of in my teachings of like the shattering and I mean the original 5 and Tiamat's like and what exactly like came out of it and what happened to these super powerful descendants? Like Tiamat got banished. What about her like immediate generals? Do I know what happened to those or anything?
Not many stories remain, especially not. You don't know a whole lot of names or history thereof. You know, there was a lot of knowledge that was deliberately destroyed in an attempt to sort of wipe out all of the influence and all of the memory of that dark time. And that was during the sort of the war that happened after the shattering, this sort of purge, where a lot of the history of the chromatics and the more monstrous races, as people term them, were destroyed, and there was a lot of effort to tell the stories of the heroes and to write over the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you don't necessarily know a whole lot about the generals or the leadership of Tiamat's forces.
Okay. Well, so we're in this room.
Solyax, you do remember there is a history or a library of history that has been preserved in Dragenthrone.
Of course.
That was not a place where you spent a lot of your time, but you know that if it's able to be found, you might be able to find it there.
Go on the Dragon Throne. Okay.
Go.
So that answers my questions. I feel a little better being more informed, but shall we press on then?
Right. So in this room, Lauren, this is just another mural, right? And there's another exit continuing off the right.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll keep going.
Keep walking.
What's in this?
So y'all head into this room, and it is a larger room, about the same size as the.
Yep.
Sure. About the same size as the room that the creature was living in on the other side. This does have an earthen floor. It's not loose sand in here like it had been on the other side. You also see this is the first room where you find evidence of any other humanoids that have come through here. There are 2 bodies, skeletons essentially, long decomposed, that are and mostly in pieces, not fully put together, just from the age and the decomposition.
So,
but yes.
go ahead.
You see there are a number of runes, sort of arcane scribbles on the northernmost wall, and there seemed to be something, some decoration or writing around the bodies themselves.
I would like to look around and just see anything along the ground. You said there's runes around the bodies, right? Close to where the bodies are?
Close to where the bodies are, not on the ground, but it looks like they're on the walls.
And these are just skeletons, right?
Yep.
Skeletons.
And this is still sacred ground, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Well, I'm gonna eyeball the runes on the walls.
Awesome. So y'all come on in. You start looking. Are you looking at the ones on the northernmost wall, or the ones by the bodies?
Well, what? All right, you said there's something moving around the bodies?
Nope. Nothing moving around the bodies.
Do they look scorched or charred, or like things blew them up and there's
of the bones?
You come and you start inspecting the bones. They are sort of they're covered in dust and elements of sand and grit, where they've been sort of make a medicine check. Whoever's investigating the bodies.
Garrett, you said you were gonna do something?
I was in the middle of it. I was gonna look at the wall.
Okay, the northernmost wall.
I don't want to get near the bodies yet.
That's fair. Val, Kazator, what are y'all doing while they're looking
I
at these?
was helping with the medicine check.
And
Okay,
I'll take a look
Kazator?
at the other rooms by the body.
Okay. So the medicine rolls, what are they?
10.
23.
8.
Okay. Val, you have seen this sort of thing before, where bodies that have been exposed to the elements have been not just had the flesh decompose off of them, but where they have been like almost sanded clean, where the bleach of bone is yellowed and white almost. Doran and Kazator, y'all are looking at the runes on the northern wall. Do any of y'all speak or write Draconic?
Kazator does, I think.
Yes.
But
His-
he
okay.
do.
Good deal. So Kazator, you look at these, and it's these symbols that are set into a grid. It's 3 by 3, so there are 9 total. And you look at them, and they are numbered 1 through 9. And you can see where they.
Goku.
There's nothing missing. There are no gaps. It's
No,
just 1
anything
through
like
9.
that, please.
And there is a symbol at the top that is a draconic letter, and it's dust covered and it's hard to see. Halberd over and Stolyax over by where y'all are looking at the body. Are y'all at the same one? Are y'all at different ones?
I thought the two bodies were together.
Yeah, I thought they were.
They're not together. There's one that is close to the door where y'all come in, and there's one that is north on the western wall. So basically one that you turn right and see, and one that you can turn left and see from the door.
I probably would have gone for the northwestern one.
I'd
Okay.
go with Celix because I've been sticking with him.
And I'd
Okay.
go with the other one because,
Your completeness.
well, you do your own body.
Works pretty well.
So the ones at the northern one, there are a couple of letters, and you can see they're draconic, and they've been scratched into the wall. They're the letters P and T and H, and then there are numbers that are also written with them, and those are 16 and 20 and 8. In Kazator, you and Doran are looking up at the northernmost wall. What are y'all doing?
So okay, the grid we're looking at is it in Draconic, right, or is it just regular numerals?
Draconic.
Okay, so
3 by 3.
does it look like a keypad where 7 through 9 are on the top, or is it 1 in the top left going down?
1 in the top left and going down.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3 across the top.
Yep.
And then what is the script above it? You said there was a draconic letter?
Yeah, it's hard to make out, kind of dust covered.
I feel like you want me to brush it off, but I'm scared to touch it. I'm gonna blow on it. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not touching it. I'm blowing on it. I don't want to touch it with anything yet. I'm gonna try to blow on it first.
It's okay. You go ahead. You blow on it. It's you see the dust shift. You see the letter is revealed. It is a W. And as the letter is revealed, it takes on a slight glow. The
good.
doors slam down. You are sealed into this room, and there is a shifting sound as sand
Okay.
begins
I
to
tried,
fall from the
guys.
ceiling.
Okay, it's a W above it, and
What's the number?
is there a number with it or just the letter?
There is no number.
Okay.
Is there anything else next to the W or just W?
Just W.
I'm touching 2 and then 3.
Okay. You touch 2. It lights up.
Uh-huh.
You touch 3. It lights up.
I touched the W.
The W. Nothing happens.
Seeing how things
Search
are
for
moving.
any other glyphs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to start looking around
I'm
for
sorry.
any other.
Was the PTH only by the body that Sulyex and Halberd were at?
Yes, you haven't gotten really a chance
Okay.
to look at
I want to
the
look
other
at the
body.
the glyph by the other body and numbers, whatever might be there.
Was there glyphs and numbers by the other body?
Yeah, but they're in Draconic.
Yeah, you haven't really investigated those yet.
I would like to go look at them.
You
I'm
go
looking-
look at them.
Around elsewhere for more
I hear
draconic.
the timer, and that fills me with comfort.
Yeah.
Right.
You do see there are 4 letters and corresponding numbers that are over by the other body. These has an A, an L, an E, and a B. And the numbers are 1, 12, 5, and 2.
I'm catching a drift that the
Yep.
letters and the numbers are corresponding.
Right, it's the numerical value,
The
which is
sound,
why I hit 23.
sand,
That's W.
mhm. The sand is starting to fill. There's probably 2 or 3 inches of it on the floor now. The
Okay.
bones of the bodies are starting to be covered by the sand itself.
Looking around, any more glyphs anywhere in Draconic that we see? Any more numbers?
Make a perception check.
I'm doing the same. If I
15.
30.
You do
24.
not see any. You don't see any other glyphs. You don't see any other markings.
Okay, so this is what we got. We got P, T, H, A, L, E, B. They all have corresponding numbers, but we have a W with no numbers below it.
What's the numbers under each one, real quick?
P, 16,
P is 16.
T, 20, H, A, 8, A, 1, L, 12, E, 5, B, 2. It's corresponding.
And then the W has all the.
W has the 9 keypad.
has the grid under it. Yeah, and the numerical value for W is 23.
The 2 and the 3 are still lit up and glowing.
I'll walk
On the
back over
keypad,
to the
it's
cab.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? One at the
Yes.
top going.
Okay, the bodies, you said one was on the left, one was on the right. Are they in the center of the room, or is one or more
No,
towards the
they're
front
against
or
the
back?
walls.
I know, I'm sorry. Okay. Against
The
wall.
one on the left is the
Uh-huh.
northern west one is closer
Yeah.
to the wall that has all the runes on it. As you look and you can see the sand has gotten probably 6 or 7 inches deep now,
Okay.
and most of the body except for part of the skull is has disappeared under it. The sand is continuing to fall from the ceiling. What are y'all doing?
Okay. If let me see if I can say. Okay, if we walked in from here, if this is, let's see, is that the right side for y'all or the left side?
Left
Left.
side for us.
Okay, perfect. So if this is the left side, is the body more towards the front or towards the side we didn't come in on?
The side you didn't come in on.
Okay,
Like
so
right
he's
around
here.
where you put that mark
Yep.
is,
Okay,
is
and
where
then
that body would be.
this one on this side is where?
Down, and it's actually on the southernmost wall there, so a little bit to the left.
Here.
Like right through there, yeah.
So on the wall we came in on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go hit 1 and 9.
You hit 1, you hit 9, the letters light up, there's a flash of light, and then they disappear. Nothing changes, sand continues to pour from the ceiling.
Okay.
The numbers light up and disappear.
Yep.
So 1 and 9 are no longer
So
present.
we're reset. It
There's-
looks like we need 4 digits.
Yeah, the 4-digit code. Norton, your super brain know anything?
Can I roll to figure something out?
P, T, H, A.
Sure.
I've
Go
got
ahead and
nothing.
make an intelligence check.
Wow, if I can find my freaking dice. Is that a saving throw?
Nope, just a check.
Because that's a 8.
You get the
Alright,
sense
well,
that the
actually, that'd
numbers
be
do
12.
correspond to the letters.
That actually would be 12 with intelligence modifier. I'm an idiot.
Okay, so yeah, you're pretty confident the numbers correspond to the letters. There's something about that W that plays into the puzzle. There's probably about 10 or 12 inches of sand on the floor now.
Go for.
Okay, guys.
Letters
W,
and things that
w
would-
west.
It could be west. It could be that's if these correspond to numbers. W is how many? What
23.
number would
23.
So get your numbers and equal those, correspond those up to a 23.
The numbers add 23.
TBA.
TBA.
It's a 4-digit code.
Tab, yes, 4
2021.
digits.
Yeah, 2021.
Okay, I'd hit. There's no 0.
There's no 0. You hit the 2. The 2 lights up and stays lit up.
Hold on. So it'd be 2.
And you did 2, 3 already, right?
Yeah. HAL. That's
Hey.
okay. I'm gonna hit 3, 4, 5 just to make it clear itself.
Okay. The letters flash and disappear.
Okay,
It is
we can
cleared.
get 20.
12, 1, 2.
Right, that's what I was gonna do. So what is that's H, A, B, and L, like Hal or
8.
whatever. I'm gonna hit 8, 1, but you need 4 different digits. I'm gonna hit 8, 1, 1, 2, just for the heck of it. 8, 1.
Okay.
Sorry,
You
8.
hit.
What is it?
8, 2, 1, 2. 8, 2, 1, 2.
8, 2, 1, 2. 8, 2, 1, 2.
You hit 8. You hit the 2. You hit the 1. They're all lit up. You hit the 2 again. Nothing happens. The 3
I hit
numbers
the
are
9.
still lit.
I hit the 9.
Okay, you hit the 9. There's a flash of light, and the numbers disappear.
Okay.
The light disappears. It's reset. There's probably about 1.5 feet of sand on the floor now, getting almost to 2 feet up. It's getting hard to move around in here, guys.
Oh, come on.
1, 6. The 16, the 5, and the 2 will make
16, 5, 2, 1, 6, 1, 6, 5, 2.
Well, okay, I'll hit 1, 6, 5, 2.
You hit them. There's a flash of light. The numbers fade. The sand continues pouring.
It doesn't make it work. We got it.
Equals
Ah.
23.
Okay.
pattern.
Laura,
Yeah,
was there anything on the bodies, the numbers, anything that made it seem like there was a pattern? Like any hint at all in investigating the body that would have said, hey, here's a pattern?
Make an intelligence check.
Soliax, think
Oh, heck
Bahamut's.
Natural 20 plus 3, 23.
23. You get the sense that they were trying to figure out if there was a connection between the numbers and the letters, that the letters have a value. Something about the W, it sticks in your mind. Why is there no number associated with that? There's something you have to do. What's the W?
What did you ask, Jordan?
I was going to say Bahamut. Is there any of these that
That's what I'm
any of
thinking.
these letters or any people or connected with Bahamut? Any words that are connected with him? Any other names?
I'm trying to think. Does anything pop in my brain?
Um,
I don't think it.
Make an intelligence check.
West.
You're looking specifically at the numbers
17.
and seeing if there's anything
17.
here. Is it 17? Not anything with Bahamut, but you're looking at the numbers. You're shifting them around. There's maybe if some of them repeated or were in different ways. That's A, L. I don't know. They're putting them together. ALP. No, maybe there's got to be something.
I can make the word path, which would make sense, but
I know, I said the same
too many
thing.
letters.
16
Yeah, like I don't.
Well, you can't put the same number twice.
1620. Try that real quick.
Yeah, 1620.
There is no 0.
Oh,
There's no zero.
We talked about that already.
1682. Those are the corresponding digits of path that we can hit at least.
Yeah, try that one.
1682.
You put them in. They light up and then fade away. The sand keeps pouring.
Okay, W. What's with the W? W, West 23. What? The west side would be the correspond to the 147. 147. There's no 4 or 7 in these.
No.
Wait a second. There's no 7 and there's no 9. There's no 3. There's no 4. 1. No, sorry.
No.
4, 7, 3, 9.
7, 9.
3, 4, 7, 9.
What?
3, 4, 7, 9.
Yeah, I'm hitting it.
3, 4, 7, 9.
That equals 23.
You go ahead. You put in 3, 4, 7, 9. There's a flash of light. The numbers stay lit up. Sand stops pouring.
That equals 23. That equals 23. Yeah.
There's a brief feeling of a breeze as the sand starts shifting and shaking and going down through the floor. The doors slide open. The way back, the way ahead are both clear.
So real fast,
Yeah.
walk me through that. What led to that decision?
The numbers
Two
were
things.
missing.
Okay.
But
Good
it's
deal.
3, 4, 7, 9, and they add.
And they equal 23. Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh.
Is there anything on these bodies
So what just happened?
I
No,
like
as
that one.
as I walk, do I see anything on the bodies?
Make an investigation check.
With the Arbiter's permission.
I don't know who these bones are.
That was good, Lauren.
That was good. That's clever.
That was a 9.
I still don't know what
Thank
happened.
you.
I like it when we don't walk in and go, oh, pour these potions in. When there's a little bit of stress, it's good.
That was clever. What'd you get?
9.
9.
9. There's a rusty dagger that the one body seems to have used to carve their particular markings into. The other, there's an arrowhead broken on the floor, and a quiver with what looks like a couple other arrows stuck in it. There's rotting bits of leather and cloth, but really that's it.
Like normal arrows?
I mean, they seem pretty normal, yeah.
I'm the one who said respected all, so darn it, I'm not going to take them. But
what's the next room?
So you head on into the next room, and there is a sort of familiar sight. There's a dimly lit room. There is a on the northernmost wall, there is a door. Although this one does not look to be, you don't see a particular keyhole. You see an actual door set into the wall, and there is another Naga coiled, waiting, just patience.
I'm going to smile, lift up my other hand and wave, and then point at Salix.
Good day to you, Guardian.
And a good day to you.
We recently have communicated with, I believe she referred to you as, you were her sister, yes?
Yes.
They said that you had a key.
It lies beyond. Is that what you seek?
I seek a great many of things. But I believe in order to find what I seek, this key is necessary. You are here to guard, yes?
Yes.
And what's required of you for us to gain access to that which with you guard?
I require you to prove your might.
And he punches Halberd in the face.
Who set you to task?
Good question.
We were brought by Asha to guard the way.
Brought by Asha to guard. This is, this may sound insane, but this was a long time ago, yes?
As your kind live, yes. Not so long for us.
Does Asha
We may wait
reside?
millennia.
Does Asha reside beyond these doors?
Asha does not lie here. But there is one who does.
Who lies here then, if not Asha?
This is the tomb of the hero Zelasar. Dear friend to Asha, and ally in all she did.
You wouldn't happen to know where Asha lies, do you?
When last she left this place, she journeyed far to the south. We did not see her again.
Was she carrying this when she left? And I hold up the shield.
You carry Asha's shield.
Carrying my shield, dang it.
Yes, it was once hers, and it has now been given to me, and her task that she bore is now mine. And I seek guidance and answers from these ancient places.
A worthy journey.
Yes, but you seek might, not worth.
To pass through my way, you must prove your might.
And how would you have me do that?
I do not give instruction. I merely judge.
That makes it.
Well, what would you consider then to be might? Would it be the strength of one's hand or the strength of their conviction?
Test me and find out.
Okay, I will. Where is she in relation to the door?
She's about 5 or 10 feet in front of the door.
And she's pretty much taking up the entire way around it.
She is actively guarding it.
Okay, then I will say, if it is might you require a test of, then perhaps you shall have it. And I will cast, or not necessarily cast, I will use Channel Divinity to do Sacred Weapon on my axe. And so it starts glowing a bright, radiant light. And just sort of stand there in a ready position.
Okay, the Arbiter just pulled out his weapon.
I'm just standing there in a ready, so.
I'm bringing my bow out forward.
Okay.
He's my friend, so
Yeah.
You summon your weapons. You
Strength of-
prepare.
friendship.
Her eyes lock onto you. You see the tension coiled through her body. What do you do?
It is your lead, Celiax, but I think that we will follow you. And we are committed to you, no matter what comes next.
We're only here to show our might. And I will rush the Naga.
All right. At that point, I want everybody to go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, Lauren, do I need to pull out a map?
Actually, before we do that, guys, it is 6 o'clock.
Oh,
Oh no! No!
Can my initiative roll stay? I rolled good for once. It's like my first
Well, go
ever
ahead.
good initiative.
Go ahead and give me your initiative, and we will pick up at the start of the battle next game.
Oh.
Spent too much time looking at murals.
okay.
All right, Kazator,
23.
23. Val,
18.
18. Halberd,
10.
Doran,
12.
Silyax.
19.
All right. And that is where we'll pick up at the beginning of next game. Guys, that was a good session.
That's
I
great.
don't want to fight this thing.
I do.
I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as a respect to where we are, like, oh, I'm sad we got to fight it. As a D&D player who loves fighting things, I want to fight this.
This is not one I
That wasn't
want.
case story, though.
We're not killing it, though.
Oh, that's fighting and killing is not
Yeah.
the same thing. Yeah.
Flashing
not
sound of
killing
a
this
fat warrior beat.
God, I didn't want to fight this thing. I don't know how else
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it turns out. Thank you everybody for tuning in and joining us today. Come back next time to see how all of this turns out. Well, this was good. But thank you. Have an excellent week. Remember to be safe, stay healthy, think before you act, evaluate before you make a decision, and remember to always love your neighbors. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.